Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show Live. Good to have you with us. How's everybody doing today? It is a great day when you're here and a great day when we have our show, which is literally every single day. Hard to believe we've been doing this entertainment lifestyle talk show series for 19 weeks, just about every single night live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Worldwide, streaming and simulcasting simultaneously on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. We're also on Periscope, and we're also on Twitch right now as well. I never thought in my broadcast career I'd ever say that I'm on Twitch, but we are. Good to see everybody. I'm here to put smiles on your face. As you know, we have a lot of levity or lovity on this show. We have deep conversations. We have great entertainment. We have amazing guests as well. We also take you on location. On Sunday, we're doing an amazing food show, the Food Festival and Foodies Festival and Host Chat, which is going to be amazing. Today on the show, we have award-winning film, television, and theater actor Arnie Burton. You've seen him in a lot of TV shows, probably Broadway and off-Broadway productions, film, and so much more. He's an amazing actor, and we're very honored to have him here. He's going to join us in just a second. It's so great when you're here from all around the world, too. If you're discovering our show for the first time, or maybe you joined us when we had wonderful singer and songwriter and musician and multi-instrumentalist good friend Lacey Carpenter on last night, or maybe she was live from Nashville. Awesome show, lots of levity. Maybe you joined us when we had Danielle Kaner, fabulous singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist on the night before, live from London. Maybe when Donna Vivino was on, and she was at her beautiful country home in Maine. Wonderful Broadway star, she was on the night before. Or maybe you're watching us since we had the guys from Celtic Thunder and the ladies from Celtic Woman on, or any of our incredible guests from comedy, from magic, from television, Broadway, Hollywood, some celebrity friends, folks that I've interviewed over the years on television, on radio, and my work. If you're watching for the first time, I do this work professionally as a television and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, and narrator. Done it for many years. And 19 weeks ago, I said, you know what? People for years have asked me to create a show like this so we can share the personality, share the love, have good times, and lift people's spirits as well. So we brought in the professional television equipment, sort of rearranged things in our house here along the coast, built a home studio here, turned on the lights, and we saw what happened. First, it was me talking to the camera and chatting with guests. Well, not even the guests. We didn't start with guests. We started with you, the viewers, and we did all kinds of cool things on location, and this, that, and the other. And then guests started watching the show and started saying, hey, I like that. I want to be on that show. I like the vibe. I like the feel. I like the warmth. So that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, people that I know in the industries have hopped on. Other friends of mine have been asking their friends. And then people that come on the show, they want to tell their friends to pop on. So it's been really, really cool. And I hope everybody is doing well. You know what we do here on our show, class act here, this production. We always toast all of our viewers all around the world. If you're watching us for the first time, hey, thanks for checking us out. I'm your host, Jim Masters. It's a pleasure to have you here. Nice to have you with us. Now, last night I had some organic iced tea lemonade in the glass from Trader Joe's. Tonight, I have a little Sambuca, which is kind of nice. This was actually gifted to me because my birthday is next week on the 24th, when we have our very special guests joining us, the Voices of Classic Soul, who are the legends from Motown and Soul. We're talking about the guys from the Temptations, Platters, Drifters, and the Four Tops are going to be here live on my birthdays next week, next Thursday, September 24th. And I got a package in the mail, and it was a bottle of Sambuca from Italy. I was like, wow, birthday gifts are coming early. I got to run over to the post office. I was told there's more packages there, so I got to get over there quick. But to that individual that sent that, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And we toast all of you as well. As you know, smiles are what we're all about here, as well as great conversation. We always learn something on this show. George Burns is here. There he is. I know you guys always ask for him. If you're watching the first time, you're saying, why is he holding a George Burns doll? you could say that the viewers, the Lovities as they're called, want to see him every night. This is the actual collector's doll. My aunt collected dolls. My cousin gave it to me. This was when he was 100 years old. I guess they had come out with the doll. It's got, the reason why this is still hanging there is because it's got all the certifications. It goes in a special box, the whole thing. So my cousin, I don't know, 4 months ago gave me this. I was over at her house and she said, "Hey, Jim, do you want the George Burns doll?" I said, "Wow, sure, why not?" So then when I started the show, I started putting him on and you guys fell in love with him. So he's here and he greets all of you. See his smile, he's got his hanky, he's got a cigar. He approves. He approves of the Sambuca, that's for sure. Genie's here as well. There she is. She's in there. You got to look quick. Look quick. She's blinking at you. And the iJimmy Genie bottle, absolutely. Again, you got to put smiles in people's faces, right? All the time. There's your friend. You guys always look for him, right? This would be great. I feel like I'm a kids show host sometimes too. I mean, one of the first shows I did on public television was Sesame Street, so I think this is apropos. We were on a TV shoot in Switzerland. We picked him up. This is Silver, aptly named, right? Silver, the Silver Lab. We had Hollywood legend. What was it? Oh my God, we had so many people on the show, and let me tell you how many people love that dog, even though it's not real. Don't tell him, he thinks he is. And Jimmy's there. Jimmy says hello, greets you as well. There you go. I know you guys love that. So there you go. There's one more who came recently, and this is because of the lovely Dreama Denver. Dreama Denver is the wife of Bob Denver, who played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island and also was in Dobie Gillis and so much more. She was a phenomenal guest on our show, and we had an extraordinary conversation. She's an actress, she's a producer, she's a radio station owner, and she was live from her home in top of the mountains of West Virginia. And she looked at the set, she saw all these goodies, and she said, "You're missing something." And I said, "What are we missing?" She said, "You're missing Gilligan." So Dreama Denver sent us Gilligan, and there he is. And aloha Jim, Dreama Denver. So there you go. Lifelike, pretty cool. So we added him to the set as well. And again, people are telling us they're sending us all kinds of cool things on the set. And, a lot of hosts do that. They have mugs, they have different things behind them to dress up their set. Johnny Carson had the cigarette box and these other things. Everybody has something. So we have our cast of characters. And we have our viewers as well. And we're so honored by having wonderful viewers who continue to join us, our faithful Lovities, as well as new people who are continuing to discover this entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Again, we do this isn't a podcast or anything like that. We do this in terms of the time that goes into this and the effort and the production and everything. It's done like a television show. And that's, just taking from my experience in TV. Lots of great love here. Lots of great Lovity. Christine is here from North Carolina. Greetings, Jim and Lovities from North Carolina. Welcome, Arnie Burton, on the show tonight. Looking forward to a terrific conversation. Absolutely. And we've got great photos and video. If you're saying, "Arnie Burton, I've seen him. Yes, you have. In just preparing for the show, I've always known about him. I've admired his work. But I forgot about some of the things that he's been a part of. He's like a part of Americana. He's been in so many productions over the years on television, and I'm a TV guy. Television, Broadway, off-Broadway, film, so much more. Nice to see you, Christine. Mary Bishop, welcome. Jim, Arnie, and Lovities. Working a bit late tonight, catching up. You're watching on YouTube as well at Jim Masters TV. I invite you to check out the YouTube channel. All 19 weeks of our series are there. Plus, Masters Mantras are there, which are these feel-good, positive, inspirational videos I do, and other work from my career is there as well. Cathleen Walker is here. Hope all is well. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jim. And I was told by the post office there's a box waiting for me from you, Kathleen. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to go over to the post office and get it. I have to sign for it because it's too big to fit in the P.O. box. But I thank you. I'll have to check that out. I appreciate that. You didn't have to send anything, but I love it already. I know from you, Kathleen, it's going to be something special. Good to see you in New York City. Marilyn there in Wichita, Kansas. Hello, Jim and all Lovities. I already told Arnie that you guys are going to welcome him into Lovity Hall. Lovety Hall is what Danilo created. Danilo Reyes created Lovety Hall. Hi, Jim and Loveties. Merlin in Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. Linda watching in St. Augustine, Florida. Good evening, Mr. Lovety. Good evening, Loveties. Good to see you as well. It's nice to see all the regulars here and lots of new people as well. Hi, Jim and everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting show with great conversation and Lovety. Good to see you in Connecticut. Hey, Willie's here. Willie, she stayed up for us. She needed a couple nights rest because it's 1 a.m. in Holland in the Netherlands. So she needed a couple nights rest. So welcome. Here I am. A moment here for greeting you. Now I go to sleep. Bye-bye, friends. That is funny. It is 1 a.m. in Holland. She watches all the shows now in the archives. Here, Willie. Good night to Willie. That is very, very funny. Good night, Willie. We will see you in the archives when you watch this on YouTube, which is perfect to do. A lot of people binge watch these shows later on YouTube. Sometimes even I do too. Jennifer Barry's here. I'm here. Was playing a pool table game with Ken, our house. I'm here. Jim's show. Hooray. Fantastic. Good to see you here, Jennifer Barry. We appreciate that. Cheers to you as well. Crystal, hello, Jim, and all the lovelies from Ann Wozniak. Looking forward to a great show tonight. Thank you very much. Looking handsome, Mr. Lovely. Love your hat. Thanks for wearing your gorgeous hat. I know you like when I wear the hat. I am a hat guy. Appreciate it. Didn't have it on last night. Everybody loves the George Burns. Absolutely. Hey, June. Good to see you, June. Our dear friend June. Hiya there. Watching in New York City. Loving the hat, Sue Folfs, watching on Facebook. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Sherry, hello, Jim, and all the lovelies. So happy to be here. New York's in the house with June. Absolutely. Nick is here. Oh, Nick. Yes, I remember you from the Sergio Franchi concerts on the estate of Ava Franchi. Sergio Franchi, the amazing Italian singer who unfortunately passed, and his lovely wife Ava for about 25 years put on this glorious outdoor concert on the grounds of her beautiful estate, her and Sergio's estate. Did it for about 25 years in Stonington, Connecticut, over towards Mystic. Thousands of people would come, all outdoors, and all of these brilliant singers and performers would come on stage, and you could tour the mansion. You could see all of his incredible car collection. It really was beautiful. And Ava's a dear friend. I've interviewed Ava on public television many, many times. Good to see you, Nick, and welcome to the Jim Masters Show. It's nice to see you here as well. And I welcome everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today, and you're having a good day, and everything is panning out for you. Again, we are living in unusual times, but we're here together, and that's what counts. That is what counts. A good friend Arnie is here as well, and if you have watched television in recent years, and you know who he is, or if you've been to Broadway or off-Broadway, on Broadway, incredible productions: Peter and the Starcatcher, The 39 Steps, A Free Man of Color, Amadeus, just to name a few. Off-Broadway too, Lewiston, Clarkston, Drama Desk nomination, featured actor as well, The Government Inspector, Callaway Award for that, and The Mystery of Irma Vep, Drama League nomination for that, and so many others. The New Yorkers, Encores, The Explorers Club, MTC, Lives of the Saints, Mere Mortals, Timon of Athens, The Winter's Tale, The Jew of Malta, on and on, The Merchant of Venice, Tailspin, The Last Sunday in June. International, too, he did The Merchant of Venice. Some of the regional highlights, too, he was in Before the Meeting, All in the Timing, Big Sky, Confederacy of Dunces, William Finn's The Royal Family of Broadway, Strange and Separate People, Perfect Nonsense. That's at the Hartford Stage, very familiar with that. The Old Globe, Berkeley Rep, Philadelphia Stage Theater, and so much more. Film, he was in The Greatest Showman, The Invention of Lying, Igby Goes Down, Game 6, The Private Lives of Pippa Lee. Television, you're going to see how familiar you are with him, especially with television. Jessica Jones, he was in Search Party. He was in the TV series The New Murphy Brown, which was the reboot. Elementary, which is, of course, on CBS. The Good Fight with Christine Baranski. Blacklist, of course, which was on NBC. White Collar, Flesh and Bone, which is recurring. Blue Bloods, which is phenomenal with Tom Selleck and the gang on CBS. It's a phenomenal show. Frasier, of course. Law and Order Criminal Intent. Caroline in the City, Sister, Sister, just to name a few of the television shows that he's been a part of as well. And of course, everybody is welcoming him to the show. Yep, welcome and welcome. Welcome to Lovity Hall. Is this live? Yes, level 3. What an interesting, that's a cool handle. You're watching on Twitch. Good to see you on Twitch. Yes, this is, we are live right now. You are watching us live on the Jim Masters Show Live. Good to see you watching on Twitch. I'm used to saying like PBS or ABC or CBS, but tonight we're going to say Twitch along with Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. And let's welcome our illustrious guest as we get ready to have some levity together with Arnie Burton. Arnie, welcome to the show. It is great to have you with us.
Hello, everybody. My God, I'm so excited.
Did you ever think you would be live on Twitch, too?
No, I'd never heard of it until just a few moments ago.
Yeah, you heard of Itch, but not Twitch. Twitch is more like you twitching. So, how are you? I just listed off. That intro is just a short bio. You've done so much incredible work, and that's just a little teaser. We could never cover it all.
But first, Jim, I have to tell you, I am obsessed already with two things in your studio. One is I'm like probably I could be the most the biggest Gilligan's Island fan ever. So I know yes. So I'm obsessed with that, and that you got it from his widow. And I know every episode. I have a friend, and we can call long distance, and we can do one sentence from, just quote a sentence from it, and we can guess which episode. I know everything about it. Also, I need to know, where did you get that I Dream a Genie bottle? Is that original? What is that?
Yeah, I know, huh?
Amazing. That was another one of my favorites.
And you like the George Burns too, huh? Isn't that cool?
But I have to say the I Dream a Genie and the Gilligan's Island, really.
So the Genie Bottle, we'll show a full screen of that. The Genie Bottle is the real hand-painted bottle. You can see some of the detail.
Yeah.
Here, I'll make it big.
That could be one of the original ones, could it?
So it's hand-painted, all hand-painted, and this was a gift. This is solid. This thing weighs a ton. And whenever I lift it up to say, and Jeannie's in here, don't you see her blinking? I'm always afraid I'm going to drop it on George's head because George is right there. So George is there, Jeannie's there. Then you got Silver Jimmy and, of course, Gilligan from Dreama. But, yeah, and you know what's really cool about the Genie Bottle is, do you know what they used in the television series as sort of like the prototype for the design of the I Dream a Genie bottle?
No.
This design of the Genie Bottle actually replicates a Jim Beam liquor bottle. That's what they used as the prototype. Wow. There's a whole history on that. Yeah, the Jim Beam liquor bottle shaped just like this. Of course, a little bit fancier on here with, the top and everything. How are you in there, Jeannie? You hanging in? She sends her love.
Yeah, tell her I'd like to talk to her. I'm a wishes I would like to.
Well, what happened is I put these on one night and everybody fell in love with them. And they said, don't lose these your cast of characters. And then Dreama was on, and Dreama said, you're missing Gilligan. So she signed it, Aloha Jim, Dreama Denver. She was a guest on the show. And I tell you, it's like, then we had an illustrator on who was on, Frank Caruso, who's done Betty Boop and all of these incredible things. He says, we're going to send you a Betty Boop. So I'm like, we have to build an extra wing to the studio just for the... But it's awesome, and I'm glad you enjoy these cast of characters. And usually, actually, there's one more thing I usually do that I didn't do. We really go Hollywood. We do lights, camera, action.
Oh, look at that.
And I usually say, lights, camera, action, the Jim Masters Show is live. This thing is cool. This thing actually hangs, got clips. Yeah. It hangs on the wall. So what's happened here, Arnie, is a lot of these things came from separate sections of the house
Hmm.
when I was creating the show. And I said, you know what? I said, if I ever rename this show, it would be apropos to call it Off the Wall because so many things have come from the walls. There's a bare wall over there, the bare wall over there, but everything's here. That's what happens. So
You're more minimalist. There's like nothing on our wall.
there's nothing on the wall, right? But it's like I like see that lighting that you've got in the back there, and you got the memo about the brick. You put the
Oh
brick
yeah.
up quick, and
Yeah.
you got the little like is that an orange or red pillow there? In the,
Just for a
a little bit of pop of color.
color.
See, exactly. Almost matches my
Well,
shirt.
we have a beautiful sunset. It's mostly gone now, but
And that went quick because you and I were first talking 15 minutes ago. It was bright, and now all of a sudden, yeah. Welcome to the approach of autumn. Absolutely. So, speaking of all of that, here we are in the autumn of this year, a very interesting and crazy year.
But the autumn of my career.
Yeah, what is it? The Frank Sinatra song, "The Autumn of My Life," and how have you been doing? I mean, you're like me. You're used to being out there and on sets and stages and producing and acting and performing, and that's sort of been altered a little bit. And
A little.
how have you been keeping creative and busy and connected with everything?
Well, it's like this time I see in like almost like two parts, almost three parts. The first 2 months, I like loved it, and I felt guilty that I was kind of loving it. Not that I loved what was happening, but I loved. I have to be honest, that I loved the break from being creative. Because as an actor, it's a constant kind of either you're in a play or you're in a TV show or something, or you're auditioning or you're working on other material and doing readings. So it's kind of the process just never stops. And I love it, and I've loved everything about it since I was. I mean, it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. So it's kind of been a lifetime thing for me. So this is the first time in my whole life that has kind of just stopped. And the first couple months, I just like leaned into that and said, I want a break from. I've earned a break too from constantly creating. And that lasted about 2.5 months. And then I started getting the itch again, and the creative spark started coming back in a kind of really lovely way. It's like, oh, this is right. This is right. This is what I love to do. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I kind of got that spark back again, which I hadn't had lessened a bit, So in a strange way, this has been a blessing for me in a very selfish way, I guess. But now I have my good days and my bad days. I had a bad day just the other day. It was just like, when is this going to end? I want to get back to work. I want to be in a room. Mostly I want to be in a rehearsal room with a group of people creating a play, a show, whatever it is, and working off people. And I mean, to me, there's nothing like it. Even to me, that's even better than performing. I just love working out the thing that we're trying to create in a room with like-minded people.
And when you think about that missing the people, missing the energy of the response of an audience, or even just being with colleagues and the crew, and even being with people that might have aggravated you when you were with them, you even miss those people.
I do. That's all part of it. Because it's never a love-in as much as you want it to be. There's always at least one person and maybe sometimes you're that person, which is strange. But no, it's that whole, and creating stuff is never easy. It's not like just a big love-in. It's you can butt heads, you can make horrible mistakes, you can it's a messy process, but I love that. The whole thing I really miss now. And I'm glad I do. I'm so glad that I miss it, because it means that I've kind of fallen in love with it again, and can see, as I said, doing it for the rest of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, this has been pretty much like a reset, hasn't it? I mean, it's a pause. It's the great reset, the great pause, what have you. There are a lot of people who are enjoying well, there's outside your door it's not so peaceful, but at least within your confines it can be peaceful. And have you been reevaluating your purpose in life and things you've done in life and where you want to go? And have you cleaned closets, and have you been baking bread, and have you been really reevaluating everything up till now, like a lot of people seem to be doing?
There's some of that, but I have to tell you, I'm kind of a person that is always doing that. You know, it's like I've always been a person that is like I've always been like a big self-help person. I've been, you know, and I love my therapist. I can recommend therapy to anybody. So I've always, I have to say, like, have always been kind of looking out, like, how can I get better? How can I deepen a kind of idea of what my purpose is, and what I like to do? How can I be a better person? How can I realize myself more in the world?
So you self-analyze, you review, you stop and you pause.
Yeah, I do that like every year. It's like
I do it every day.
Yeah, when I journal, it's just like, you know, what did I accomplish today? What did I learn today? Did I learn anything new? Did I? So that's. And I've continued it during this time. And like I finally got back to yoga, which I hadn't done in so long. Now I don't think I'll ever go back to the gym, because I just, like, with my resistance bands and my yoga, like, I'm set. But it is, and I hope, you know, I just hope all of us take this time, as you said, the Great Reset, and we look at it that way. So something very positive will come out of this. I think it will be true of the theater in New York. I think we're going to come back to a time where the theater itself will be in a healthier place. I like to think that we'll all do this. You know, we all go through painful stuff, and there's something lovely knowing that we've not just, a lot of things happen, you know, either locally, like 9/11 in New York, for all of us that were there. Of course, it happened really to the whole world, but it felt very much like an attack on our city, and other things happen, and we feel like, oh, everyone in the United States is sharing it, but everyone in the world is sharing what we're going through now. So it's a kind of beautiful connection that we all have with each other, that we're all experiencing the same thing. Yeah.
Very true. We really are, and that's the thing, and it's a global situation too. So there is that understanding that everybody's been affected in so many different ways, on so many different levels, and the hope is that we get through this. And I, like I've said on the show before, that I hope this is some sort of a reset where we come out of it, you know, more empathetic, more loving, more collaborative, less divisive. I mean, you're seeing the worst of people right now, but you're also seeing the best of people right now in so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping.
That's honestly what I've had to deal with too is exactly what you just said. Is sometimes, because again, I'm basically an optimistic person, and I basically think the best of people usually. But it's been a test this last year of seeing some of the worst of people, and alongside some of the absolute best of people. So it's reckoning that, you know, that together. But
all these welcome from Ann in Southern California, and Bernadette is here as well. Lots of love here. Kathleen says, hi, Arnie, welcome. Christine says, welcome to the Jim Master Show, Arnie, cheers. June, of course, 39 Steps was amazing. Absolutely. Claudia says, hello, how is everyone? Sherry says, welcome to Loverty Hall, Arnie. So glad you're here with us tonight. Can't wait to learn about your career. Merlin in Canada says, hi, Arnie, welcome to Loverty Hall. Linda says, Arnie, you're a Loverty now. See, I told you were going to be a Loverty. Chris still in Connecticut. Hi, Arnie, welcome to the show. And Sherry says, hello, Jim and other Loverty. So happy to be here. Lots of love coming in from everybody here. Everybody welcoming you, and this is nice.
This is the best of people. See, this is good.
The best of people are here on our show. Absolutely, yeah, because you get a chance to really Jennifer says, welcome, Arnie. Jen is Zen.
Ah,
Oh, actually, if you want to get ahead of Jennifer, I can give you a question that she's going to ask you
okay.
before the show is over. And it's a question that she asks all the guests.
Hmm.
So you can beat her to the punch.
Okay.
If you have a Zen place, is it mountains or the ocean? Now, I grew up along the coast, so for me, it's the ocean. I love the mountains, but it's the rhythm and feeling of the ocean. But what is it for you?
Mountains. I
Hey,
grew up,
Jen, because she's a mountain person.
Jen,
Jen,
Jen, you, me, the mountains. I grew up in
Idaho.
northern Idaho, like right near the tip, mid to tip, uh, something like that, of Idaho, and where it's all mountains, streams, lakes. So as a matter of fact, because we live in the city, but we have the place I'm in now is my country place in Jersey, and we're in the mountains, and we overlook hills and valleys, and so that is totally my place. I love the ocean, but for me, it is definitely mountains.
You're the mountains. See, Jennifer Barry? Now she's going to probably post in a few seconds that she's double Zen. She got her answer. She loves to ask that. And that's a lot of fun. We like when she does that. So let's go back a little bit. You know, I talked about some of the illustrious things in your career. We've got great photos. We have a demo reel, all this cool stuff. But oh, Jen, two mountain people. Yeah, you're the second one that is a mountain person. Last night, I think she said she was too, the guest.
Now, did you tell me that there's more beach people?
There
Ocean
tends so
people?
far of the guests that have been
Mhm.
on, most of them have been saying ocean. Yeah, ocean.
Okay.
And I think it's because a lot of them grew up near coasts,
Yeah.
east or west. So most of them
Well, I
would.
like being part of a minority, so I like it that way.
But when you're a levity, we're all the same.
Yeah.
So, how'd you get involved in this industry? Back in Idaho, were you, in plays and involved with, a lot of different cool things as a kid? Were you always entertaining, or were you quiet and shy, and they had to pull it out of you? Tell us a little bit about those early beginnings in the upper middle tip.
Um, well, yes, I am. I fall into the shy introverted group.
Oh, look, she's happy. Arnie, I'm a mountain woman. You're a mountain man. Jen is double Zen.
From, from northern New Jersey.
Arnie is a mountain man.
Yeah. I, as a matter of fact, I was just hauling wood in today from our wood pile. So there you go.
Well, that confirms it.
Yeah, there it is. I'm not wearing my plaid shirt, but other than that. So I grew up in Idaho. And first of all, let me preface, no one in my family is like, there was no artistic gene. There's no theater gene, certainly, in our family. And I was not just shy, I was kind of painfully introverted. I can't remember having friends really until I was like in high school. But I was never lonely. I had a great kind of inner life. I'd go in my room and I'd create things and I'd write plays and force my family to watch them. I remember specifically why, like I don't know if any of your viewers know this Christmas show called Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. It was
One of my favorites.
oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so great. And the wraparound, so it's Mr. Magoo doing Christmas carols, Ebenezer Scrooge. But the
And there was
wraparound,
Jim Backus as Mr. Magoo.
yes, one of my heroes, comic heroes. And there,
Gilligan's Island, too.
exactly. And he's doing this, so he's on Broadway performing Christmas Carol. And so there's all these songs about you're back on Broadway. And I remember watching that as a kid saying, first of all, I want to be an actor and do what he's doing, a cartoon character. But he also it takes place in New York. And it's like, I want to go to a place like that because we grew up in a very rural place. And I remember thinking, I want to be in a place where people are living on top of each other and there's action always going around. And there's these theaters and everything. There was never a period in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was always that.
So how did you you know, sort of foster that from the upper middle tip of Idaho? How did you, start creating that there to then bring you to where you are? What were some of those, those places and those things that you embarked on that led you east?
Well, we moved as a family. We moved out to Arizona, to Tucson, Arizona. A big difference. And and it was kind of in high school when I went to my first drama class, and even though I knew this is exactly what I wanted to do, but that in a way brought me out of myself, and I connected with people, like-minded people, and I suddenly started flourishing because I had a sense of connection with the world. My mom always said she was so grateful. I didn't have like parents that said like, no, you shouldn't do this. It's there's no stability. There's no this. She was always grateful that I had found theater because she said it was a way for me to connect to the world. And it's true. It was finally a way I could get out of myself. So then I started having friends, and we just started doing plays, and we were doing plays in high school, and then it was on to college.
And was that opening you up? Were you becoming more expressive and more open and less reserved because of the performance aspect of what you were partaking in?
Yeah, because I knew, first of all, I had a sense that I have a talent for this. It was like the one, because I wasn't good in a lot of school. I was not good in math. I was not particularly good in English. I certainly wasn't good in sports. So this was an area I excelled in. And again, a lot of it had to do with I didn't have to be myself. I could be other people. So I had chosen a profession where I could hide and being other people. And I specialized, like in high school, in playing real character parts, which has continued throughout my whole career. So in a way of being in the world, but also kind of shielding myself. And I love the fact of a bunch of people gathering in a room. That's why, as much as TV and other things I do in film and even radio stuff, nothing replaces theater, because there's something about the energy of being in a room with people right there, and in a rehearsal room, people creating. And I will always love that and just get off on it. And it helps someone like me, even though I consider myself still an introvert. My world is much bigger. I have lots of friends. I have a partner. I have the theater community, especially in New York. So my world has just enlarged because of it.
And so have you. As a result, it's opened up certain aspects of you that if you stayed in the upper middle tip, might not have ever been. I love that. It's like, excuse me, I'm from the upper middle tip, not the lower middle tip. I'm from the up, and it's on my bio. I'm from the upper middle tip. There's a distinction. We have running water. Then there's the upper, and that's all gated. So, what would you say along the way for you was that really, and it could have been at any level, but the big break, not the major thing, but the big break in terms of, wow, that really opened up some cool doors for me, whether it's something that you pursued and got, or it happened, or somebody noticed you and brought you in. What would you say was early on that break that sort of set that train in motion for you for your career?
It's interesting because there's this kind of, it's not a myth because some people have it, of this of getting a big break. I've never had a big break. I've had a series of nice little breaks all along the way that have kind of added up to a career that I kind of always dreamed of.
It's funny you say that, because everybody I interview, no matter what level they are, and people, who've done a lot like you have, they'll always say that, like, you know what, I'm still waiting for that big break, even though they've done all these things.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the next break. It's like there's always like, and I'll share with you a couple of them that I did felt kind of changed the trajectory of my career. But it's and there are people in life, that have these great breaks and it just totally transforms their lives. But my goal, I was always, and I think too shy, and I never wanted to be famous. I never had a deep desire to have everyone notice me, to go out on the street and to be noticed.
I'm with you with that. It's amazing. The careers that we've picked, I am similar. I don't mind being in a public eye venue where I get to entertain or inform, educate, do what I do. But I've never made fame the thing that really matters to me.
Yeah.
Wealth is good, but even that isn't necessarily the reason why I do what I do, why you do what you do. It's that whole communicating with people and inspiring and lifting and discovering aspects of yourself while you're inspiring others, which is really cool, isn't it?
Yes, and just
that's more important.
Doing the thing that you, I mean, what could be luckier than doing the thing you love to do in your life and making a living at it? What could be better than that? And I always think that we're in this country, and not just this country, but other countries, we're so obsessed with the idea of fame, and especially when you're an actor, a lot of people think, oh, you're not super famous, so that's the ultimate goal. And I honestly think if people sat and thought about what fame is, I don't know the real, and I've worked with a lot of famous people and I see the effect it has on people, and I've even talked to them about it and how hard it is, and how not very pleasant. There's a very dark side to fame, and I honestly think most people, if they got to really see it up close and what it is, I don't think most people would like it. I don't think most people would like having to plan if you had to leave your home to go out because people are going to see you and stop you. I honestly don't think most people would want that.
And the digging through the garbage and being on TMZ as you're coming out of a restaurant. Or
I like walking down the street of New York and having occasionally someone stop me and say, I loved you in that play, or I just saw you on TV the other night and I'm a fan of yours. I love that. I love a contained kind of fame, which is kind of the New York theater people and the people there. So I do love that.
Very different than LA, right? It's a very different feeling where LA would be definitely more, hey, look at me. Don't you know who I am? Well, if not, let me show you my reel. Here's who I am.
Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit of a different mindset. So do you feel more in touch with New York and the East Coast sensibilities versus West, even though you've done a lot of incredible work in television, in the West Coast as well and everywhere? Just as a person, maybe coming from Idaho, do you feel you are in touch with the East Coast is definitely real. It's authentic. It's, do you feel more in touch with the East Coast?
Oh, definitely. It's the only place I ever wanted to live. But it's also, I've done a lot of plays by David Ives, and David has said once that, that the big decision most actors make, or most, not just actors, as a writer, he made the same decision, is, where do you go after you graduate, or, do you go to LA or do you go to New York? Because those are the two. Yeah, you can go to Chicago and there's great places, but really those are the two, that kind of epitomize different parts of our business. And he says it's a great tell of people that choose to go to LA as opposed to New York. And it's hard. What I'm going to say is going to sound snobby, and not to put a judgment on people that want that, because I think amazing stuff is happening on TV, and LA produces a lot of great stuff. But I do think, as an actor, I think if you make the choice to go to LA and pursue TV, I think there's a level of fame and recognition that you want. I think New York demands harder work. And here's where I sound real snobby, is I think you have to it takes much more talent to be a theater actor than it does a TV actor. I think as long as you can get away with kind of being yourself and making lines sound real and everything you can be on TV, just be yourself. I think to work in theater, you need training, you need a sense of awareness that goes beyond that, and it's harder. It's much harder.
True, the grind of it too. Usually, Broadway runs.
Oh my God.
It's every night, couple shows a night.
Yeah.
It's really, there's a couple questions actually coming in. We welcome Level 3 Teapot and all who are watching on Twitch. And Level 3, I love that Level 3 Teapot. I want to know what that is. Is that a video game connected? Is that he made it up to Level 3, or it's a cool name, Level 3 Teapot. I love it. Watching on Twitch, did Arnie meet Michael Keaton in Game 6? And how did it feel being in a movie written by the great writer Don DeLillo? Tell us about that.
Yes, and amazing. Michael Keaton was so great. And I remember it was. I had a couple scenes with him and Griffin Dunn, who was also producing it. Griffin Dunn, and it's a really interesting script by Don DeLillo. And I remember doing this scene. It was a very funny scene. There it is. Look at that. And oh no, that's 6 degrees. It's another thing.
Of separation.
That's it. 6 Degrees was a show that lasted 1 season.
That was just 1 season. That was on ABC, right?
Yeah. It was kind of about 6 degrees of separation. But anyway, Michael Keaton was so nice, and I played a kind of bitter waiter that would wait on him in his favorite New York restaurant, which was the Minetta Tavern on Minetta. And he was so great and quick and funny, and he's like what you want him to be.
I tell you, I'm going to go through some of these amazing photos too. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's show, you have a sort of a synopsis of some of the work, and people are going to love this, and they're going to recognize you from a lot of these different clips. We actually have a show reel here which shows Arnie and his brilliance in so many different capacities. Are you getting sentimental now, emotional because I said brilliance?
I always cry at my work.
The last time you heard that, it was your 3rd grade teacher, and she put gold stars on your report card, right? Well, sorry. Here it's levity, and that's it. We're going to take a look at this incredible reel that is here, which is really, really cool, that we have. And it says Arnie Burton, but I was watching it, and I was remembering so many things that you've been in. I mean, you're very versatile, too. Mm-hmm. Would you consider yourself predominantly a lead, or do you love being the support character?
I'm a proud character actor.
Yes, right.
Proud character actor.
Let's take a look at this, everybody. You're going to see Arnie Burton in action, and I'm sure you're going to recognize several of these productions. We're going to take a look at this reel right now, and then we'll be back with more great conversation and levity on the Jim Master Show Live in just a second. Enjoy.
Can I help you?
Now, I've heard that you're a very reasonable man.
Who said I was reasonable? She should have known what she was getting into.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Don't play all high and mighty with me. Well, you're stupid. Oh, sensational. I look forward to seeing what all the fuss is about. Truth is it's a treat being inside the famous 11th precinct. The structure dates back to 1907.
Perhaps you'd enjoy the holding cell downstairs. It's original to the building.
Why are we here, Detective?
A man named George Nix was gunned down during a battle reenactment 2 days ago.
Wow, my day just got a lot more interesting. You're accusing me of murder?
And arson. George's house was torched a few hours after he was killed.
And you imagine Mr. Chambers was...
You can expect to have a beautiful baby girl. The hair is just vestigial, as I tried to tell your wife. I'm sorry if it offends you, Father, but we believe that millions of years ago, humans were covered with fur.
I know that.
So is it a baby or a pet?
Peter Burke, FBI.
FBI? Oh, they're really kicking it up a notch.
So, you're a book dealer?
Yes, well, as I have told everyone here, repeatedly, my business is the import and sale of rare books.
How rare can they be? You've got 600 of them.
Would you like me to go to the crime lab? I'll be a test for fingerprints.
I get it, because I'm telling you how to do your job. So, Snow White in Spanish.
Snow White was not created by Disney, Detective. There are a few stories that predate Steamboat Willie.
I'm a federal agent, and you mean folklore, the virginally pure queen? Like Alexander Pushkin's tale of the White Princess and the Seven Knights? Is that what you mean?
What are the books for?
10 signed prints. Oh. Whoa, where's the photo?
What is it?
Hello.
Laura.
Oh. Hey, Andrew. Hey.
Look, I have someone here who's pretty eager to talk to you.
Oh, yeah?
Hello, Laura? Is it? Yeah, this is Bryce Wolf from the Wolf Gallery. I believe you may have accidentally left here with something that belongs to us.
No. I think this belongs to me, seeing as it's my face, and it was taken without my permission.
What you say?
Well, I'm sure we can come to some sort of amicable agreement.
You're going to be hearing from my lawyer.
And the first issue we must raise is cruelty to fish.
Gets funnier.
It gets funnier. See, they chart the laughs. This from a critic who lives like a fallen monk, whose very address is a carefully guarded secret.
Critic who has to disguise himself.
What do you mean?
To go to the theater. Wears, I don't know what, makeup, padding.
Why?
Because he's so deeply hated by so many people in the business.
He has to disguise himself, Nicky.
For his own safety and peace of mind. We have le cheveux de mon mère, le nez qui coule. Oh. Pierre! Ah, super for your victory celebration. Woo! Number 29! Come take your bubbly bath, baby! Yeah!
You're not really a champagne guy, are you?
Oh, heck no. No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Very cool, very cool. Really, really nice stuff. And that's just really touching upon a little bit of the work. I don't know. You're the shy kid from the upper middle tip. I don't know. Not anymore. I don't want to cross you.
It's so funny because I love like true crime. I like reading about true crime. Watch like or listen to podcasts and watch things on the TV about true crime. So I do get to play like a lot of. I'm hardly ever the murderer, but I'm always like the person that is the murderer and that they're constantly questioning. I can't tell you how many shows I've done where I'm being questioned because they think I'm the murderer.
Well, it's usually the one that's quiet, right? I mean, every time when you watch a news story and they interview the neighbor in the apartment next door, it's like, he was always such a quiet boy. They always say that. He would walk his dog, he would get his mail, and then he would go in, and you wouldn't see him till tomorrow, when he would go to work, come home, walk the dog, get his mail, and that's it. Maybe there's something about that routine. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
I think I have a quiet creepiness to me.
Well, I want to, as Jack Benny would say, Amadeus, like 1980. I mean, Broadway. Let's talk about this. How did this develop? I mean, this is obviously major and phenomenal.
Yeah, that was like, the show had opened. I think I moved to New York in 81 or 82. And the show had been running, was like one of the biggest successes on Broadway it's seen in years. And it was just one of those things where I thought, oh God, okay, here I am starting my career in New York. I'm going to audition. I'm going to go to an open call. I went to an open call at Equity, one of those things where you have to get up early in the morning, just get in line with a bunch of other actors. and I had to do a monologue, and I did it, and they called and wanted me to come back. And I did the national tour of Amadeus. Then I ended up doing the Broadway company, being in the Broadway company until it closed. So I was like, when I first moved to New York, I was thought like, oh my God, this is easy. School always said it's such a hard profession. It's not hard, please. And then, of course, they followed quite a few years after Amadeus that then I had to learn how difficult the business can be.
Yeah, it really can be, absolutely. But what was it? It was still extraordinary being a part of that, right?
Oh, it was so exciting because at that point, it was such a, it was, I can't tell you how big it was, you know, on Broadway. It was kind of iconic. And so to be on stage and realizing, oh my God, I'm in this scene right now that everyone's talking about, and I'm working with incredible actors. And it was a remarkable time. And it was exactly what I always wanted to do, you know, leaving the theater in winter and going out the stage door and then going out to eat afterwards at a theater restaurant late at night and staying out late. And then you have two shows the next day. And it was so great because I remember I was doing the show, it was towards the end and Mark Hamill was in it. And he had I think they just opened up the last Star, or the third, which is, what's the third Star Wars? I can't remember, but the third Star Wars movie that he did in the 80s, you know?
Yeah, the third. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was very big. And at that time, we kind of looked alike. So I would come out of the stage door first, and they would always think I was Mark Hamill. So there would be this, of all the people waiting at the stage door.
There is that resemblance. There is that.
Resemblance, especially when we were young. We really looked alike. And so there would be this roar of kind of like as soon as I came out, and then followed very quickly by a kind of like, oh, when they realized it wasn't him. So I learned the highs and the lows.
He was from the upper middle tip. That's sort of what.
Definitely upper tip.
I was going to say. I mean, the breadth and scope. Of course, the 39 Steps is legendary. How did that happen for you?
Well, that was, again, this is 39 Steps is one of those periods in my career that kind of changed the trajectory of it.
Did you see the reboot that got invited by dear friend Doug Denoff?
Oh, Doug.
Who, and they had the reboot about a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal.
I was in that one too, because
that's right.
Yeah, I had done, I love Doug. He's
Doug is wonderful, yeah.
Producer. He was one of the original producers on it. And they were bringing it over from London. And it was funny because I was over in London. I was doing a show at the Royal Shakespeare Company. And so I went and we were up at Stratford upon Avon. And I went to London just for the day. And I was just looking at all the theaters. And I stood outside. I saw 39 Steps. And I'd heard about it because it was a big hit in London. And I remember standing outside the marquee and looking at the production photos outside. And I thought, this is a play I could do. This is right up my alley. Because it's 4 actors playing like 100 different roles.
It's so incredible when you see that. I mean, and the costume changes and just everything, phenomenal.
And all the different accents and everything. It's also, I've always been a fanatic about Hitchcock and horror films. It's like I grew up loving being obsessed with horror films. Yes, red noses. Yes. Thank you, June.
That's right. We had the red noses. You had to have those red noses on.
That's right. And so it was just like truly 39 Steps will probably be such a highlight for me because it was everything I always kind of wanted the experience of opening a Broadway show to be. It was just 4 of us in it. We loved each other. The great Mariah Aiken, who's a British actress and director, directed it. It was such a beautiful, blessed thing that happened to me in my career. There it is. You kept your nosy.
I saved my red nose from the 39 Steps.
Is that your real one?
This is the actual red nose that Doug Denoff was.
forcing
it's even throwing off the lighting. The lighting is like bright, dark, doesn't know what to do because the nose is so bright. Hey, there you go.
Because Doug would like do these things where he'd have the whole audience wear them, and then we do a picture like at the end of the show during the curtain call of the whole audience with us wearing,
with everybody with the noses. This is my nose from that night with the play. It was fantastic. I had brought one of my co-hosts, Denise Richardson from PBS, who joined us, and she loved it as well, and that was terrific. And then even more, this brilliant too. Tell us about this one, A Free Man of Color.
This was after I did 39 Steps. And I had done 39 Steps for almost 2 years. Well, 2 years on Broadway. We'd done Out of Town in Boston for a few months. So I had done 39 Steps for about 2.5 years and loving every minute of it. But 2.5 years. So this was a play written by the great John Guare. And it was this incredibly epic play about a time that I didn't even know so much about. A free man of color, basically, back then, this took place in New Orleans, and it was all about this, you could kind of basically purchase your freedom, and you could basically live like a free man. All these slaves and so it was like a takeoff on Restoration comedy, a very bawdy kind of comedy, but also with dealing with these huge issues about slavery and throughout the ages and the founding of America. It was an epic play, and I got to share the stage with amazing people, Jeffrey Wright and Mostaf and all these incredible actors. So it was really, it was an amazing experience. It didn't run that long, but it was at Lincoln Center. But it was an amazing experience.
I saw that you look so casual, just a shirt on. I dropped the jacket. We don't need the jacket. It was getting the AC's on, but it was getting too hot in here. Let's make it casual, right?
Yeah, let's casual.
But a brilliant performance, Free Man of Color to be a part of, right? And so like topical even for now. Some of the conversation,
God.
You know what I mean?
For now, it would even be. They would get it more because what we're dealing with right now is exactly what this play, where we are now kind of fills in all the gaps, up until now. And it's quite brilliant. John Guare is a brilliant playwright, and it was brilliant. A lot of people, though, it was one of those shows that were like, I remember thinking, we did our final dress rehearsal at Lincoln Center, and Bernie Gersten came up after watching it and just said, "Oh my God, this is brilliant. This is so brilliant." And then we just thought this thing is going to be huge. And then I remember our first preview. It was rough, and audiences didn't know what to make of it
because it was new and fresh and different, and something
Guare was doing was like you said, he wrote this play for Jeffrey Wright, and it was a kind of a takeoff on Restoration comedy, which were very kind of bawdy and sexual, but also a history lesson. There's all these historical figures in it: Napoleon, Jefferson, all these people, and it was a melding of these two, and it got very dark, but it started off very funny. So I don't think people knew what to quite make of it. I think if it happened now, people would it would be embraced much more for the great play, which I think it.
It's a different time, absolutely. Here's another amazing one.
Oh yes, that's the one I just did before.
Yes. This was the one that was sort of right on the cusp of everything happening this year, right? Tell us about this.
This is an amazing. I keep saying amazing, but you're picking all the shows that I love. It's Timon of Athens by Shakespeare. This is a kind of it was a new production that was done at the RSC to great acclaim and brought over here, the production, with mostly a new American cast, except for the woman who played Timon. And so we did it off Broadway in Brooklyn at Theater for a New Audience, and their beautiful theater. And then we took it to DC, where we were performing it to great acclaim right up until the shutdown happened. And, it happened so fast. I think all of us remember. I remember I came home to New York because I was in DC performing this. And it was on a Monday because I had an audition. And I just started hearing the rumblings like theaters may close for a week or two till they figure out this whole coronavirus thing. I thought, oh, that's not going to happen. So go back to DC. By Wednesday night, they had closed the New York theaters. I thought, well, it's not. I go, I can't believe that's happening, but it's not going to happen here. And then, because we still had another week and a half of the run, and then, like literally the next day, they said, okay, we're just going to finish out the weekend. We're not going to finish out the run. I go, okay. And then we get a call the next day saying, actually, we finished out the run. We're shutting everything down. So that was the last time I was on stage.
Until the Jim Masters Show live. See?
Now I feel complete.
With the orange pillow and the brick wall.
Where's my orange pillow? It's there somewhere.
Do you have to peel that off the wall and bring it back to Home Depot in the morning? Or?
Right, cardboard. I painted that right before. It's not a working fireplace.
That's for our show. I tell you. Going the extra mile, Arnie Burton.
Oh, yeah.
Going the extra mile. Here's another cool one. Tailspin.
Tailspin. Now this is a play. This was so much fun. This is off Broadway. I did with Rachel Dratch. It was what they did, what the playwright did was it was all verbatim. The whole show was verbatim, taken from interviews and by politicians that had sex scandals. So it was, I can't remember all the politicians now.
That must have been a 5-hour presentation then.
It actually was an hour and a half. We were in and out, and he would do. It was like I played. What was his name? Mark. Oh, I can't remember his last name, but he was the congressman from Florida that got caught texting with like some young interns. Yeah. So I played him. So we did. So me and the other actor would read the texts back and forth. And it was just, and they would be comprised of interviews and Rachel Dratch. So it was 5 of us in the cast. 4 of us men played the different male politicians who were caught up in their sex scandals. And then Rachel, who I adore, played all the women in their lives. And she also played Barbara Walters, which she did on SNL to great acclaim. And I love that show because it was fun, but also because it brought Rachel into my life, and I adore her. So,
do you stay in touch with a lot of the performers and fellow cast members from the various productions, whether it's television, film, theater?
Yeah, you know how it is. Like some things you do, like you think like, oh, we're going to stay together forever, and it does for a while, and then. I always think I'm lucky if I get one good friend out of one production that I really stay in contact with. And even though I don't see like Rachel too often, she's got a busy life. I've got a busy life, but she's also got a kid. And, but we keep, she comes to see a show that I'm doing, and we'll certainly keep on contact on Facebook and things like that. But she's a great lady.
Yeah. Very cool. Here's another one, Lewiston Clarkston.
Lewiston Clarkston. This could be one of my favorite things I've ever done. This is by the great playwright, Sam Hunter. I've always been a fan of his because Sam writes about plays, all his plays take place in Idaho. Sam is grew up not too far from where I was in Idaho, although he's more middle. He's not the tip. And he writes about people we don't often see in theater. He writes about kind of forgotten people. And there's a beautiful kind of loneliness and yearning that are in all of his plays. And this is a play that was very personal to me. The character reminded me so really parts of myself, but parts of my father, huge parts of my father. And my older brother, who both, my dad was a bit of a tragic figure. And this was a way for me to connect with that part of my dad that I never quite understood, but through this play, I did. and the writing is so beautiful that Sam does. And I was thrilled to be nominated for a Drama Desk for this, because this is a performance that meant so much to me. And I miss it. I miss it. I keep hoping that they'll revive it and we'll get to do it again, because it truly was. And it was so nice to do too, because I had been kind of known in the business. It's like from 39 Steps and this other show I did, Peter and the Starcatcher, where I would always play all these different parts. So I was the guy, like, oh, we need the guy that can play like 10 different parts in this play. And so I would be the guy they would call. And this was a play I got to do that was, first of all, serious. It wasn't necessarily funny, although there's comedy in it. And I could just play one character. And it was a character that meant something very deep to me. So
so you were able to reconcile certain things in your own mind with your father through this at the same time, which is amazing when that happens. Huh?
It was just one of these things where I found out as we were rehearsing, they actually offered it to me, and I said yes, because it was Sam Hunter right away. It's like, yes, I've always wanted to do a Sam Hunter play. And then I didn't hear for a couple of days. When I told my manager, I said, oh my God, tell them yes. And I said, and tell them, because my character played a butcher, an out-of-work butcher in Idaho. My dad was a butcher who lost his job. My dad had a gambling problem that lost our family home, and we had to move around a lot because of that. And the character his father was the same. There were so many connections. I remember the first day of my costume fitting, and we found this costume, and I looked in the mirror, this full-length mirror in the costume, and I looked exactly like my oldest brother. And so there were so many parallels with my own life, and I understood these people. I understand Idaho. Idaho is a place, but it's also a state of mind. And I understood kind of deep who Sam was writing about. And so, yeah, it meant a lot to me.
Arnie, thank you for sharing the personal, heartfelt. Lots of hearts coming from Jennifer, which is really, really beautiful. Some more really incredible productions too. The Royal Family of Broadway. Tell us about this one. This is like a legendary production. And how did you get involved with that? You must have enjoyed that.
This is interesting, because I have always loved, since I was a kid, I loved musical theater. I love musicals. Love. So I'd go out and get cast albums, all that stuff. I've never pursued musical theater. I was always where I went to school in University of Arizona, you were either a serious actor or you're the musical theater people. And I was like, no, I'm a serious actor. But inside, I love musical theater. So but I just never pursued it. And I never studied voice or anything. So then I did this play on Broadway called Peter and the Starcatcher. And I had to sing in it. And I was terrified. And they didn't tell me when they cast me that I would be singing in it. There'd be numbers. And I remember saying to myself, this is goes back to that thing I told you where it's I have always been a person that wants to work and get better. So I said, I never want to be this terrified again. So I'm going to study. I'm just going to study privately and learn how to sing. So I started going to a teacher just on my own and learning. And so then finally the first musical I did, well, I did one out of town first, was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And that got my feet wet. Didn't have to sing much. Then I was cast in the New Yorkers at Encores, which is a big venue, huge. Everyone in the theater comes to see it. It's just this huge thing. And it was this old Cole Porter musical that they'd reconstructed and put back together. And I got cast, and I had my own song by Cole Porter to sing. It was a comic song. And so, I'd been taking lessons by this point for quite a few years. But still, it was I remember the first night, and I was standing on stage, this huge stage with this huge audience, bigger than a Broadway house. And I'm singing a Cole Porter song by myself on stage with a 30-piece orchestra behind me. And I thought, this is the trippiest thing ever. And I couldn't be more happy and more thrilled. And the people in it were fantastic. And I got to do my first original cast album because we recorded it. So I was thrilled. So then after that, I got to do William Finn, who wrote March of the Falsettos and Spelling Bee and all these great musicals, wrote a musical based on the royal family. And then they asked me to do an out-of-town tryout of that. So I was in a great role and I had a great comic song. And it's so much fun to be in a musical. It's so much fun.
It's very freeing too in so many different ways, isn't it? You explore different aspects of yourself and different talents that you get to.
Yeah.
I mean, really, every sense is being touched upon when you're in something like that, right?
Yes, and the thing that I love most that I discovered is that there's something about a group of people singing together and creating a sound together, and everyone's singing different things, but it comes together and creates this beautiful sound, and it's kind of the
very harmonious.
Yes, it's the epitome of like people working together to create an outcome, and that's what I really love about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. The New Yorkers.
New Yorkers, there it is. Looks just like the cast album. There's a great song on this. I mean, there's a couple. People should listen to it. You can listen to it on YouTube. Listen to my song. But it's also, everyone's great on it. But there's this great anthem that Cole Porter wrote about New York City called I Happen to Like New York. And this is one of the most beautiful renditions of it on this album that I've ever heard. It's such a call to arms about what's great about this city, and proudly that we're unlike anywhere else in the world. I put it on. I'll listen to it when I'm having one of my down days, and I miss the theater and I miss New York that was, because right now we're just going through a bit of a tough time, and I know that it'll come back because that song encapsulates everything that New York and New Yorkers are. And I would tell everyone to just go listen to that song and that particular version of the song. You can find it on YouTube. I Happen to Like New York from the New Yorkers.
It'll make you feel really good. Yeah. And now we're going to touch upon some of the other work. Life on Mars.
On Mars. Oh, that was. You saw a second of it in my reel. It was like this. I think it lasted one season, and it took place in the 70s. And there was some time travel element to it. I can't remember. I think the lead detective came from the future, but now he's in the 70s. And I played like the 70s. And I think I had sideburns. I had fake sideburns. And I had like a leisure suit on.
I forgot what network was it on. I forgot.
It was ABC, I think.
ABC.
I think it was ABC. Yeah. It was a great cast, and it was a hit London show in England, and then they tried to do an American version, and it didn't last very long. But Murphy Brown, that was really fun because that was doing a show that had was so iconic, but it had been off the air, God, for how many years now? So I think I was in the third episode. I think it was the third, and that cast was what was saying. Oh, you're let's see, there it says Merchant Vance Peter and Starcatcher. Oh, they got to see Merchant Vance Peter and Starcatcher. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Best Chinese food. Oh my God, yes. That's one of the things I miss about my birthday is this week too, Jim, by the way.
So you're a Virgo?
I'm a Virgo. I'm the last day of Virgo, I think. You're Libra.
Last day of Virgo. Yeah, I'm a Libra, so we're craving balance and harmony all the time, but exactly. I have Virgo rising.
Yeah, see, and the Libra in me tempers my Virgo, craziness. But one of the things, what I'm going to do on my birthday is have Chinese food because it's my favorite thing to do.
What day of the week is it?
It's on Tuesday.
Tuesday, so 2 days before mine, which is Thursday. Wow. Well, when we get through all of this, you and I are going to have big glasses of wine and a huge cake.
Ooh, yes, the cake.
With only 2 candles. One's yours and one's mine.
Yeah. None of this candles with the real age stuff, please. No. But Murphy Brown was so great because that group was so happy to be back together. And they were so welcoming to us people who were just guest starring it. on it for the week. And it was also one of those few shows that have a live studio audience. And I don't know if you've ever done one of those, but it's so much fun because you're there for the whole week rehearsing. You don't just show up and film something. You're there the whole week, and you feel like a part of it. And then you get to perform it in front of the studio audience, and it's just it's so old school and it's so kind of fabulous. It's like when I did Frasier, which was so much fun. I have to say that was one of the best TV experiences I had because the cast was so lovely, so welcoming, and had such a fun part on it. But they set the tone, because I have done some TV shows where the tone set by either the lead actor or actress are not particularly welcoming or nice. So it can be iffy. But Frasier and Murphy Brown were lovely.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, what was it like working with Candice Bergen? Really great, huh?
Great. I didn't have too much to do with her, but she's Candice Bergen, and she was fantastic.
Daughter of Edna Bergen, Charlie McCarthy.
Yes. She was lovely. She, as I said, I think I only said a couple words, or we talked just a little bit, but she was so lovely and fun, and yeah. Frasier, yeah, look at them all. They're such a great group. As I said, they welcome you, especially this set on Frasier. They welcome you and make you feel like you're part of the group for that week.
Do you stay in touch with David Hyde Pierce?
I know David Hyde Pierce separate from Frasier. So I see him a bit. Yeah. So yeah, I see. He actually came to see Time of Athens.
And Kelsey Grammer too.
I don't see them.
They're on the West Coast.
I do see Dan, who played Bulldog. He's a good friend because we did this play All the Way with Bryan Cranston, and we did that together and we became good friends. But I was only on one episode, but it was fun because it was a character, and people will still recognize me on the street from just that one episode of Frasier.
Now this one was Kelly Ripa as well.
That was fun. That was another one in New York with live audience, so that was fun. I don't remember too much about it, but it was fun. Law and Order, is law.
We won several. I was on an episode. They had me as a court officer on Law and Order, and that was through Central Casting. How about you? You've probably been in multiple episodes.
Well, I've been in Law and Order and Criminal Intent, and I have to say the one in my reel that they were showing was Criminal Intent. And it's so crazy because when you play, and I was like a forensic specialist, and so you have all this jargon you have to spiel, and so it has to be memorized within an inch of its life. But then you show up on set, and they just said, "Okay, Arnie, so here you are," and then they show me that I'm supposed to operate this high-powered microscope, and I'm supposed to stick these slides in and this bottle in and work it. And I've never worked a high-powered microscope, and they just think that you should be able to pick it up, and while I'm doing it and I'm putting slides in and not have it look like I'm shaking or anything, but be confident about what I'm doing, and then focusing it, and then giving all this jargon about it. They think, oh yeah, you should be able to do that. So that was like, okay. It's a miracle they were able to do.
So you mastered it, right? You now, if anybody needs somebody from the upper middle tip that can operate a high-powered microscope, Arnie is now your guy.
If you need a forensic specialist with a high-powered microscope, don't worry.
That is funny. And then, of course,
we talked about,
which is the one that Level 3 Teapot on Twitch had mentioned.
Yeah. The Invention. Now this is, I love this movie. This was when I was doing 39 Steps, and it's such a great premise for a movie. I don't know if you saw it. Thank you, Christopher. That's very sweet. Oh, that's nice. Oh, Jennifer. This is so nice.
Lots of levity on the Jim Masters show. I accept nothing less.
It's so great. It's such a good feeling, honestly. The people that are watching and you, it's really lovely. But Invention of Lying is thank you, Marilyn. The premise of the movie is so great. Ricky Gervais wrote it. It's about living in a world where lying has not been invented yet. So people say exactly what's on their mind. So there's no filters. And he's the first person that realizes that invents lying. And then what happens with that? So there's a lot of great people in it. And I had this great scene with him and Jennifer Garner where I play this waiter who thinks a lot of himself and kind of puts people down and basically just tells Ricky Gervais especially exactly what I think of him. But that's part of life in this world. And it was a real funny thing. It got cut down a lot for the movie. And I had some really funny lines in it, but it was really, really fun to do. And I'm a huge fan of Ricky Gervais, so it was really fun.
And what a cast!
Oh my God, so many good people in it. And even, I mean, they list them there, but then like you watch the movie and there's even more. All the New York theater people are in it, but there's also cameos throughout. And it's a great movie. It's also very touching. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you.
You know, the movie, again, a lot of this material that we're looking at is so apropos for 2020. I mean, the invention of lying.
Yeah.
And this year, I think the title would be The Perfection of Lying.
Don't get me started.
I noticed the camera moved too when you said that. There's like an earthquake shifted your plan. It's like, uh-oh, that was your left leg starting to wiggle, right? That's right. That's right. Keep the fists down.
Everything good.
The Greatest Showman.
I'm like on screen for like this.
But still, it's what this is.
And I have to say, Hugh Jackman was so nice. He's like everyone says he is. He's so nice. And you know who I thought was really nice, and I was surprised. I don't know why I was, but was what's his name? Zac Efron. Very, very nice. We have this scene where basically I play Queen Victoria's herald, who announces Barnum and his crew to the Queen, and then later I introduced Jenny Lynn to her. So it's really quick. It's just a few lines, and but we have to wait and do this big processional to greet the Queen. And again, like Hugh Jackman, introduces himself and makes you feel so at ease. And Zac Efron, who I didn't know that well, I mean, I knew who he was, but I don't know why I assumed that he wouldn't be nice, but he was so sweet and just welcoming and everything.
What was the one he was in? I'm trying to think. That big one. It was on Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, or something. The big thing that he was in that really launched
that
his.
was the High School Musical on Disney. Yeah.
He beat you out for that part, didn't he?
There's a little difference in our ages, Jim, but thank you. Private Life of Tiffany.
Tell us about that. Yeah.
It was my scene was mostly with Maria Bello, who I was playing her doctor. It's a flashback sequence. This was written and directed by Arthur Miller's daughter, Rebecca Miller, who's and she's married to that famous actor who played Lincoln in Lincoln. But I can't think right now.
I see him.
He's famous. Super famous.
And
an amazing actor. Anyway, that's her husband. Anyway, she wrote and directed this. And it's Robin Wright Penn plays the title character. And I played the doctor, this kind of weird doctor who is...
Tommy Lee, or...
Huh?
Was it Tommy Lee? Or?
No, it's... Oh, this is going to drive me crazy because he's so famous, and he's kind of retired now. But he was in My Beautiful Longer Ride. He was in all these great
major
actor, and I can't think of his name. That's I should walk away in shame. But I spent most of the shoot between like Maria Bello's legs because I had to pretend to be taking a baby from
Wait.
her. So it was.
I spent most of the. Wait, did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
spent most of the shoot.
No, she was wearing Spanx, so or bicycle shorts, something. So it wasn't. There's nothing tawdry about it. But I did spend a big part of my day, because a big part of one of the scenes was me having to give birth to her daughter, who was born with all this vestigial fur that eventually falls out, and she becomes Robin Wright Penn. Yeah, so there's this. So it's a weird scene where like they're filming it like from her. So you're taking it from the baby's point of view coming out as I'm pulling it out, and then there's other shots of me like just down in between her legs doing that. But it took a long time to film, so it was a weird day.
It's a weird day.
And it was filmed in this abandoned abandoned hospital in. I actually didn't think it was an abandoned mental hospital in upstate New York, like in just a few towns upstate. So it was
like
just
Poughkeepsie or
somewhere up there, yeah. And we were. So we had the whole hospital, but it's just like, it was a weird hospital too. And because it looked like it had been abandoned in the 60s, which is when my sequences took place in. And so it was just a weird day, but it was fun. It was fun. I love her. Elementary. Now this I have to say about Lucy. She was so great, because I was doing, my scenes were with her. And she found out that I was, at that time, I was performing off Broadway in The Government Inspector, which was a big hit at the time, and I loved doing it. And I hated missing a performance, and I had to miss the matinee. And she found it, and we were going late, and I really didn't want to miss the evening show, because we only had a few more performances left, and I really wanted to be there for it. So she found out that I had a evening performance, and I really wanted to make it, but I didn't want to say anything to the director, because they hired me and I needed to be there. And she went over and whispered to the director that Arnie would really like to be out to do this, to do his show.
There's the actor in
Daniel Day-Lewis. Thank you, June. I'm so ashamed I didn't know that. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. And so Lucy Liu just casually mentioned it, and the director said, "Sure, we don't need him," because I was only going to be like in background for that shot. So she said, "Sure," and so she just took it upon herself to do that for me, and it was so sweet of her. And so I'll always thank her for that. Oh, and that's a short I did, a beautiful short that this guy did, who saw me in a play off Broadway and thought I'd be perfect. It was based on his grandfather, who was dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. And he was also, he was gay, but he never told any of his children, and he never told any of his grandchildren until late in his life. And then they kind of talked about it, but he lived his whole life that way. And he lived with a guy who he just said is my roommate. And it's a beautiful short film that's really lovely. That's a tribute to this guy's grandfather.
You enjoy doing shorts and independent films, things of that nature. I was in a couple that shot last year that are still being put together. One is called Two Sneakers and a Bucket, and it's a cool one that was actually filmed in Connecticut. And my role is actually of a news anchor on set with the teleprompter and the jib camera and the green screen and the anchor desk and everything. So they brought me in. One of my friends was the producer. So that should be coming out soon. But do you enjoy independent work as well?
It depends. To tell you the truth, I've done more like smaller films like that than the big. That's why doing something like The Greatest Showman or Invention of Lying was so fun, because it's like a big movie with lots of money and movie stars. And that's just kind of fun. But I've done a lot of the more independent films and lower budget, which are, it's great. Search Party was so much fun. I'm a big fan of that show, and that was fun to do. I play I play a lot of lawyers too, along with kind of creepy guys that didn't commit the murder, but people think they did. I also play a lot of lawyers. So I played a lawyer on that one. And one I really loved, I did an episode of The Good Fight last year, and that it was so much fun because I got to play a talking head on like like those shows like on MSNBC or CNN, any of those shows, and I got to play this right wing, kind of like a Tucker Carlson type talking head on one of those. So that was so much fun because I'm kind of obsessed with political shows. So I got to play one, a little snippy kind of conservative talking head pundit. So that was really fun. White Collar, you saw that. I get killed in that one. I get killed with a hypodermic in the neck before I can spill any more spill anything about the whole thing. I don't really know what the episode was about because in Sister, I played their boss there was a season where I played one of their bosses, Tia or Tamara, I can't remember which one, Tia, I think. She had a job in a radio station. I played her boss. What was that? That was Game 6, and we saw that one that I played. Oh boy, names. I can't remember. But I played one of the main characters, who was a photographer, an artist and a photographer. I played his agent and his gallery owner, where he shows all his stuff. That was Campbell Scott. I play his. Yeah.
It's amazing when you look back and you see the breadth of work and the variety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blacklist, of course, on NBC.
Now, Blacklist was great. Blacklist is like a dream job because I played this character that was based on, oh God, I'm so terrible with names tonight. But I play someone with advanced Lou Gehrig's disease, who's a brilliant physicist like Stephen Hawking, and who's written this book, and he's very famous, but I'm in a wheelchair and I can't talk. So the episode because I get kidnapped by this crazy guy played by Harris Yulin, who's so great in it. But so the episode is about me, because it shows me being tortured, and I get to cry a lot because I'm being tortured, but I don't have any lines so I don't have to memorize anything because I can't, because I have Lou Gehrig's disease. So it's a great acting gig because of the physicality of it. So there's so much to do. It was actually very rich, and it was kind of rich emotionally, but I didn't have to learn any of those pesky lines. So it was a really fun job. Flesh and Bone. Now, Flesh and Bone is a show that was on Starz. It was actually the follow-up with the producer and showrunner that had done Breaking Bad. This was one of the creators of that developed this, Flesh and Bone, about the world of ballet. And I played, so it took place in a fictional New York ballet company based on like ABT or the New York Ballet Company. And so I played the drama critic, or the dance critic for the New York Times. It's kind of this evil, skeevy guy a little bit that is searching for because there's something about this new girl who's joined it and is becoming this big ballet star, and I think there's something out there, so I do this investigative reporting, but I also report on her and cover the ballet. So and he's actually based on the person who wrote that episode in particular, and one of the creators of the show, based it on a critic, a New York Times critic, that said some not nice things about him in the press. And so this was a bit of his, I won't say who I was portraying, but he told me, he said this is based on that critic from the New York Times.
Very nice. And thank you, Ralph in Indiana. Happy New Year.
Oh, of course.
Those who celebrate Rosh Hashanah this weekend, to all you as well, Ralph, as well. So many exciting career choices ahead for you as well.
I hope.
Christopher in Ohio, absolutely. I think he's in the middle tip of Ohio.
You're just gonna ride that one out.
I love it. The upper middle tip. I'm going to have to look because Idaho does have that shape when it comes to sort of that point. Right? It has its own panhandle that goes up.
Panhandle. Yeah.
The one that shapes up, where Florida's goes this way and yours goes. So would you say that Idaho in terms of, like you said, growing up, it's its own unique place. I mean, stunningly beautiful, of course, visually, but similar to Utah.
It's yeah. Well, Lower Idaho has a lot of Mormons in it. Idaho that I knew was a kind of lovely, gentle place. Thank you, Merlin. Thank you for excusing my lapse in memory. Because I wasn't aware of it so much as a kid. When I moved away, that's when a lot of like kind of neo-Nazi groups started moving into Idaho and started building compounds, and it became a kind of haven for those type of people. Not so much anymore, although I think it is still there. But and that really depressed me. And also, I grew up. I was a strange kid just on its own, but I knew I was gay, and that's another thing I have in common with my character in Lewiston Clarkston, that the Sam Wright play or Sam Hunter play. It was a gay man that chose to live in Idaho, closeted life, and how that affects you. And so I know there's huge parts of Idaho that I would not particularly be welcomed in. I still love it. I think it's a gorgeous place, and there's lovely people there. But it can be a tough place.
I don't think people here, or at least here, on the East Coast, maybe here in the Northeast, know of that about Idaho. They just think of Idaho as skiing and
fishing,
Utah-ish, just very mountains and beautiful and scenic and evergreens and snow and Christmas. But,
and that is all true.
And it's all of those too.
Yeah. There is a darker element to it, as there is with most states.
I tell you, the potatoes are damn good.
Yeah, thank you.
Those Idaho potatoes are good.
Yeah. There's just and I didn't see too much of it because I was a young kid when we were there before we moved to Arizona. But I was aware enough that it wasn't a place that was welcoming to me, someone that was different in all different kinds of ways.
Well, you're welcome here.
Thank you.
Love you, Arnie. Hugs.
Thank you. Jennifer's so sweet. She's written lovely things. Yes, they are.
And Eileen, who we love, she's been following my work in TV Reader for years, but she's watching in Australia right now.
Nice.
I love that expression, and I've told her that it's good to see you, Eileen. We love when you're here. It's morning time right now in Australia, and they are going into they're coming out of winter, so they're going into their spring as we're going into fall.
Yeah.
And once she said this really cool word, she had said that she was having a ripper of a time on the show. And ripper, I love that word. So now we look for ripper. Yeah.
I can say Australian. I've done a lot of different roles where I have to do different accents.
Can you do that now, Australian?
I can't. I find Australian so hard. I won't even attempt it because it will ruin my reputation.
Can you do British?
Oh, I can do British. Yeah. All the 39 steps I had to do. High British, very posh. I had to do Cockney. I had to do Scottish, and different variations of Scottish. So yeah. I get cast a lot as Englishman.
You want to say a couple sentences in British right now? We'd love to hear that. Anything. You could say anything. I'm loving the show. Loving it.
Well, the character I did in The New Yorkers was like, he goes, "Oh, love, can't we talk about something else for a change? What else?" And then I sing the whole song, this whole Cole Porter song in this accent. And I actually based him on this character actor, Eric Blore, who was in all these 30s movies. And he had a bit of a lisp. He kind of talked like this. And he had this wonderful kind of British kind of remove. He always played butlers, and so my character was based on him. He was just kind of like this, and he was a gangster, which made it even funnier because he was this New York gangster, but he was like out of a Noel Coward play, and just kind of like this. And then I go into a Noel Coward song.
I love it. You just morphed right into that. That was so perfect. Really nice. Thanks for doing that on the spot too. Absolutely. We have some more here. Here's another one.
Jessica Jones. Oh, yeah, that was cool because that's a super. It's so funny because the fans of superhero shows are so rabid. And I was supposed to do a couple, I think, episodes of that, and it ended up only being one. That character was written out, but I played her landlady, Jessica Jones, landlady, the owner of the building she has her apartment in. Landlord, thank you.
I know we all said landlady. If it was a female, it would be landlady. Right?
What's
Yeah.
the word?
It's such an old school word. I know. Yeah.
And I'm giving her a hard time and stuff like that. But I get so much mail, and it's like it wasn't that big of a part, but it's like I get so much mail because the people in the people that watch it that love superhero stuff like get rabid, and they send me, they'll send me pictures they want me to autograph because I was in 10 minutes of that show.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's it. Hey, but it was a damn solid 10 minutes.
Oh, damn.
Here's another one that I think is just so brilliantly. I mean, all these productions, but this is going on and on and on. They're having a great run. It's beautifully produced. I love the realness of it, but I also love the tenderness of the family dynamic that they really emphasize as well on this. Must have been cool to be a part of this. Blue Bloods on CBS.
Oh, Blue Bloods, yeah.
That's a great show. When you really get into it and you're following it along, it's really cool.
Yeah. It's exactly for the things you said. It's about a kind of family dynamic. It's also a very New York show. It's a procedural show, but its emphasis is on family and the lineage of that. And everyone was fantastic on that. And I had a fun character that saw a murder. They didn't think I did it this time, but I saw it. So it was fun. It's so much fun doing these shows.
You saw it, but you weren't involved.
Huh?
You saw it, but you weren't involved.
I saw it, but I was not involved. Donnie Wahlberg questioned me, but it's not because they thought I did it, and I wasn't creepy in it. Although I did play this strange man with a little dog that saw this murder. I don't know. I tend to play offbeat weird people.
What was it, like working with the crew? Everybody there, Selleck, the whole bit.
I mean, it's so great because we filmed it like late at night on the streets of New York. I think in Queens, somewhere on the street, and it was like freezing out. It was winter. Again, I think I was doing a play. I'm almost always doing a play, so I was doing a play at the time, and it's so much fun to do things on location in New York because people come around. Sometimes you're in a great part of the city you've never been to before, and all the people on those sets are great old New York union guys that are working these things, and they're all as I said, every set is different. Some are welcoming, some are great at welcoming, and you're just like plugged in and then expected to hit your mark and then go. But this was a great group of people. They're obviously a family there, and they all like each other, and it's a well-oiled machine,
When you look at the body of work, what have you not done that you would still want to do? Because the versatility is definitely there, and you've had an opportunity to do so many incredible things, even whether they were short-lived or long, spans. Do you have projects that you would really love to be a part of, or were there any projects that you passed up on your own because of timing, logistics, or just not interested, or any that you wish you got? I mean, I interviewed Sam Quasman, who character actor, animated voices, so much more, and I asked him that question, and I said, was there any? And he said, yeah, I passed up on Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
You got an electric shock when you felt stung. You heard for him.
Because again, that's another movie. Well, Mel Brooks movies I know every line of. And I wish, did he say what role in Blazing Saddles?
No, he didn't say. He just stopped at that and didn't even.
That would be a killer. Like, how do you pass up Mel Brooks? I know it was just at the start of Mel Brooks's filmmaking kind of ascendancy. But it's like, oh God, how do you pass up Mel Brooks? I'm sure he was doing something that he couldn't do.
There was other animated work that was big or something, contractual. But for you, was there anything that either you did pass up on or that you would like to have been in?
No, I have to say, not necessarily. I do say this because I think about it as I've gotten to my age. You start thinking about, you look back on your career and I basically achieved everything I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was be a working actor in New York, and I wanted to do theater. I love doing TV and film, and it's certainly better money and easier. But it's, and I'm sure my manager doesn't love me saying this, but if I'm just talking about my heart and what I want to do, it's like I just want to do another play. I love doing theater. I think it would be fun to be like a regular on a series, because then you create your family again, and it becomes a bit of a regular job. It gets a little wearying always being like the guest person or the person that's on every other show or something, because you're just not really part of the family, the group, and you're always slightly nervous. You're the one that can't really screw up on tape. They can because they're here all the time and they feel free and easy. So I think it'd be fun to be like a regular on a long running gig on a TV series. But mostly I want to do another Broadway show or off Broadway, and but I also have to say, if I died tomorrow, I'd be so happy. I've done all the things that I want to do. I tend to think of things in, is it the macro, not the micro? So I don't think of specific jobs that I want to do. I just think like I just want to keep working with great people and great directors that inspire me and challenge me. And so that I have this need that I constantly feel I need to be growing and getting better and better and better and better.
And if you passed away tomorrow, the last thing that you did was appear on the Jim Master Show live.
Right. And I'd be happy with that.
Don't die tomorrow, because I want you to come back. I think somebody had asked earlier, well, Frances said Blue Blood's one of her favorite shows, and it is fantastic. I think Merlin had asked earlier, and it was a question I was thinking about asking. Oh, coming up here, a couple more. Loving the terrific British accent.
Thank you, Christine.
Christopher said you could play Martin Short on stage or in a movie as well.
I get that. Yeah.
That leads me to the thought of, do you have a preference of comedy over drama? Because you obviously can play right into both pretty easily.
Well, this business is so funny, as you must know, is you get pegged very easily. Like if you have a success in something, you get pegged in that. Casting people just see you as that. So especially after 39 Steps, I was just seen as like comic. He's the guy that will play a bunch of funny parts, change on a dime, and do that. So I got a lot of shows that were like that, and it's so funny because you do one thing and then you want to do the opposite. So when I do a play like Lewiston Clarkston, that meant so much to me emotionally, and I remember when I told you at the beginning of this interview that part of why I went into acting was to connect with the world, but not as myself, as someone else. And doing something like Lewiston Clarkston, I got to actually show myself and be present as myself and stand on stage and share a real emotional part of myself and in a way be naked. And I love
what did that, I was just about to say, what did that feel like? What was the residual for you? And prior to that, was there any trepidation, any hesitation, and any fear, or were you nervous about being so open and revealing in conjunction with that part?
No, I wasn't nervous about it. It was what I learned from it was that I learned I could trust myself, that just by being on stage. It was also great because they did it purposely in a small venue and they only allowed 50 people because it was you were surrounded by the audience, and we were right in the middle, and people were on all sides of you, very close, like just 2 feet away from you. And so I learned that just being myself was interesting enough that I didn't have to add on accents. I didn't have to add on this crazy stuff that I've always kind of used as a buffer, that I took the risk that I could be interesting enough, just kind of being there, reacting to what the other actor is giving me, taking it, seeing where it would lead, opening up. I hate to sound very kind of woo-woo here, but opening up kind of my heart a bit and showing parts of myself. I also learned, as I said, something about my father in that I'll always keep with me. That gave me a connection to my dad, which I always didn't have a very strong connection to my dad, and that play gave it to me. It says my thing is getting a low battery. My Mac will soon sleep unless plugged into a power outlet. So I may lose you soon.
What a way to sneak out. Exit stage left. The Mac. It used to be a cane that would pull people off. Now it's
I have 5%, so just in case, if I go
5%.
Yes.
Holy! I love you all.
Started with 100%.
Yeah.
But you have drained my battery.
We've drained you. Is there a way to plug it in while you're talking, or no? Is there?
Hold on.
Because I could. I mean, I could talk. I'll entertain the troops, and
I'll be right back.
Absolutely. This has happened before, and we know what to do. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody is enjoying, and we cheers to Arnie Burton. I hope you're enjoying this great conversation. Isn't he amazing? We always have fantastic guests here from so many different backgrounds, and Arnie, of course, you can see in all these incredible television shows, many I'm sure you've seen him in, and film, as well as theater, Broadway, off-Broadway, and so much more. And it's cool. We get to go behind the scenes.
I'm moving my computer over so I can be closer to the outlet.
Very good. He's moving the computer over so we can be closer to the outlet. And the shirt he's wearing is brought to you by Banana Republic. Who we need to get as a sponsor, right?
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Mary Bishop, what a time to just join us. Mary Bishop just came in now. What a time to join us. When you're I was going to say, she just tuned in now and she saw a navel. which leads us back to Genie.
Yes. See?
That
you got it all in?
She says, I will definitely watch in the archives. Yes, everything's archived on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Jennifer has loved all this time. Yeah, he charged it up. Arnie, you've been able to do a bit of everything, keeping things exciting. Theater, film, TV with drama and sitcoms, being a part of really great cast too. We're only in a long intermission right now, so there's more to come for you as well. And Mary Bishop's laughing because she just came in late, and you were like, all night long he's been dying to show his abs, so he got his chance to do that. So you guys happy now? Is Jen still zen? That is funny. But Sherry hasn't. You see the comment? He's amazing. Cannot believe everything. I know. That's what I said in the introduction. I said we're going to be showing you some things.
Sherry, you're going to have to look really quick for me.
Some of them are only 10 seconds, but it was a damn good set.
And it's also frustrating is I didn't get a close up because they filmed the close up, but they didn't use it. So at first you see me coming a long way, and then it's like a medium shot, or it's almost like a full body shot, so you don't get a close up. So I think you'd know it was me, but I don't know.
Well, what is your favorite food? She loves Chinese.
Well, I love Chinese so much. New York, it's like I love like cold sesame noodles. And like,
do you watch what you eat? Do you try to maintain health and I'm
lucky because I've always been kind of a thin person. Although now that I'm kind of like on the other side of middle age, I get a belly I can't get rid of. But I also refuse to.
You're now in the upper middle tip.
You win.
They didn't warn you about this, huh? My Irish humor comes out.
Yeah.
I always go in for a line whenever I can.
Do.
Yeah, you got to keep it going.
You got to circle back. You got to pull back. So yes, Chinese and and like I always think like what will be my meal that if I had one last meal, like I was in prison and they told you, I think it would be a cheeseburger with tater tots because of Idaho, and a chocolate cake, deep chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream. Thank you, June.
Yes, the two of us are going to be going on the road soon. You can join us, June. You can write the lyrics for whatever we sing, and stay, enjoying you. Yes, he plugged it in. He's plugged in. He's okay. Somebody had mentioned that you remind them of Sean Hayes from Friends.
Oh, Sean Hayes and Will and Grace, you mean?
Will and Grace. Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
I do
nice.
feel that sensibility. Yes.
Yeah. I wish I had money. That's the thing. It's like I don't want his fame part, but I would love his money part.
Yes, right, exactly. Yes, they watch Blue Bus. Anne watches it every night. And yeah, I think somebody said that, Sherry had said that she's going to rewatch The Greatest Showman just to see him. You guys are going to look now at all these different shows and clips and everything and to look for him in there too, which I think is really, really cool. As far as things that were coming up that are on pause right now for you that hopefully will resurrect when things do. There is some production happening. I'm lucky, as I mentioned to you when we were chatting before, I created this show 19 weeks ago, grew out of everything that's going on because, I do the television and radio stuff professionally and people ask me to do this kind of show for a long time. Just flipped on the lights, built a home studio, and here we are doing it. I've been able to do radio shows out of the house, write scripts, do different stuff out of the house. But as far as like production, like going on TV shoots and in studios or on planes going to on location shoots, that's been until things resurrect. How about for you? I see little trickles of some production, like there are people that are in Idaho or in Vancouver or other remotish places where they're able to get some scenes done, some production.
Yeah.
Because so much of everything is stopped, like everything's in reruns on TV and everything else.
Things are just starting to come back. I was just talking to my manager yesterday about production is just starting. I mean, production has been going on in Canada because they've dealt with the coronavirus better, and it's been more stricter, so they're allowed to open up more. And I think in LA,
I think they even dealt better with it in Lithuania.
Yes, probably. Most places, but that's another thing. So she said like all the Dick Wolf stuff is starting up again. So the Law and Orders, I know the Law and Order, the one that's left in New York, what's it? SUV.
The one, Chelsea Piers there, Chelsea Way, Lauren Auto Way there, yeah.
So that's starting up. So things are just, TV stuff is gearing up. And probably will be going in the next few weeks. They'll be in production and things will go in. So I am looking forward to doing some of that. But as I said, theater is still going to be a ways away. I'm still hoping that because as I said, I had a few projects that were lined up, and I'm still, because I'm an optimist, and I hope that by spring I can be in a rehearsal room with some people creating a really great evening of theater.
Do you? This time we talked about how it's a time for pause, time for reflection, as much as it is getting through what we're trying to get through. Do you do any different things to try to come down from it all? Do you meditate? Do you listen to music? Are there different things that you do to be able to pull away from? I mean, I do a lot of music. I try to meditate. I cycle. I swim in the ocean. I try to do different garden. A lot of different things that are sort of therapeutic in a way to just pull away a little bit from the being on all the time. How about you? What are some things you do?
Yeah. Well, I'm an introvert, so I love time alone. I love the rush of performing. That's why I love being in theater and that exchange of energy, but I need to recharge. So I love being at home. I love reading. I always have to have a few books going. I'm lucky. I have a wonderful partner and dog, and we actually enjoy each other's company all the time. So just being home, and I do meditate. I practice mindfulness meditation. And I find that helps because my mind can like keep working and working and working. And it's just a way for me to shut the thoughts or let the thoughts, it's not you're shutting thoughts down. You're just kind of letting them kind of go.
Flow in and out, flow, right, and not be obsessive about it. Now, a lot of people have been struggling with sleep. Insomnia has through the roof during all of this year. Have you been sleeping well, or have you noticed that your mind is...
It's so interesting you say that, Jim, because I have never had a problem sleeping, but the past week I have. And this week has been a kind of stressful week for different things, but a lot of it has to do with the ongoing shutdown and my real need to wanting to work right now. As I said, it hasn't always been that way during the shutdown, but it's really come back big time, and I just want to be working because now we're into 6 months of this, almost 7, and no end in sight. Really.
Going into the colder weather now, and the flu season's coming too, and
exactly. So the uncertainty. Being an actor, there's always an amount of uncertainty, and that's kind of one of the things I always said was great about being an actor is I'm very comfortable with uncertainness because I never know where my next job is coming from, and I just have to give it up, control of that. But this is a different kind of uncertainty, and it's also there's uncertainty politically and in the world. It seems very divisive right now, and then with all the crazy things that's going on with the weather, I have found the past few nights having really bad sleep.
It's like an overwhelming culmination of things happening every day and something new and bigger and worse.
I know I'm not alone in this, but it's never been an issue with me. But like last night, I couldn't get to sleep till like 2:30 and just tossing and turning. And so, yeah, it's weird. And I even tried last night, because I usually practice mindfulness meditation in the morning. I'll do 20, 30 minutes in the morning. But I never do it at night. But I tried using some of it to help me go to sleep, and it finally worked. But yeah, there's just like a lot going on in the world right now. This is historical, crazy times we're living in.
And it all came at us so quickly, and just everything shifted, flipped over, and it's.
And I happen to be in the one business that will probably be the last business to come back. And the whole thing about, unemployment, it's like arts workers, especially for New York, but all over the country is a huge business and brings in a lot of money. And New York, as we know it, could not survive without arts workers. And first of all, that there hasn't been an extension of any kind of unemployment
stimulus
to help all of us during this time, but also a lot of people are working for arts workers to get some kind of added stimulus because our business theater is not going to come back it'll be the last business to come back, and we need help, and so it's kind of all that working around this mind, so.
And you almost wish that you could help too, but there's limitations on even being able to do that. There's different things we can all do.
There are things that I do. I keep myself busy doing, working either things I can do helping politically or helping for arts organizations, speaking out and just raising people's awareness. And, I can't tell you how many letters and phone calls I've given to my senators to keep saying, please keep pushing for this. Cause it's so important to New York City, New York State, and for all of us arts workers, yeah.
On a lighter note, she wants to know what kind of dog you have.
She is the sweetest dog. She is she's part black lab and part what's the other part of her? She's a mix. She's just a mutt, but she is such a lovely, sweet dog. Her name is Charlie. And I wish she was here.
I was going to say, you know what happens? Usually, we had Donna Vivino on, and her 4-year-old was pounding on the door on the other side. Her husband was watching him, and he burst through the door and he ran into her arms and tried to take the headphones off, and he was like really cute. And then her husband eventually took him away. And then towards the end of our conversation, he burst through again, and he was jumping on her and everything else because he wanted her to go into the other room so he can perform on his little drums. And he had chairs set up because he was going to do a little drum solo because it was his aunt and uncle's anniversary, and they were going to do like a little show in the other room. It was really, really cute. But what happens is when children, dogs, or cats pop on, like if the dog came into the room and came near you, suddenly all the comments shift from wonderful Arnie to the dog. The dog becomes the star. The dog becomes the star.
I know, we can't have that.
That's what happens. Yeah. How long have you had him?
Charlie, we've had for 3 years now. Yeah. We had a dog before that. His name was Walter. He lived to be 19. He was a little Jack Russell and full of personality. And boy, that was tough losing him. Hey, there you go.
There you go. 11 years.
Charlie, I don't know. My Charlie, we named her Charlie. She's a girl. And we shouldn't have done that, even though, because I think Charlie's a cute name for a girl.
Was there that perfume named Charlie?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I had a good friend in high school, I think, one of my first good friends, and her name was Charlie. And but I'm constantly calling Charlie a he, even though I know it's a she because of the name.
Reading this big comment here. Other New York City friends of mine had a tough week. We think because it's the 6-month mark too. Plus also, the weather's cooling. It's going into like fall, which, you love and I love because we were born around this time. So I actually love this time. I love September.
My favorite time of year.
I love September. I love October. I love the fall because I love sweaters and fireplaces and pumpkin pie and hot cocoa and that whole indoor reading and watching shows, and it's just that and being here in the Northeast, the fall foliage and all the festivals, all the hay rides, all that autumn stuff has been canceled. But taking a drive through upstate New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. I mean, it's stunningly beautiful this time of the year. And even though it's the month where, as kids, we would always have to go back to school, I still look forward to this time of year because it's the birthdays were the launch pad to Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. This year it's going to be really different and interesting with like even with you, with the birthday next week, probably not going to be seeing a lot of people that you might normally see for the birthday. And same here.
I don't know about you.
The holidays coming up, we're, flying here and there. We got to...
It's so funny because I was just talking, I have a little pod, a group of friends that we're a pod so that we can see each other and not without masks. And just even trying to arrange them to see if we can find a place to get together, and one really can't. And so it's kind of been a little frustrating. It'll still be fine. And I love birthdays, and I think everyone should really make their birthday, really celebrate themselves on birthday and really take advantage. I love holidays. I love Christmas. I love Halloween.
Thanksgiving and comfort food too. I love comfort food.
And how we're going to navigate them this year will be interesting. And I just keep telling myself the thing that helps me get through it is, even with like theater and not working, is like we're living through history. This is a historical moment that very few people got to live through.
They're going to read about this in the history books in perpetuity. They really, really are, and we're going to be.
That's kind of amazing, but yeah.
Absolutely. Sherry says, from now on, whenever I see you in any of your past or future work, Arnie, I'm going to think of this show and how you're officially a Lovety.
Oh,
We're
love
so
it.
glad you came to Lovety Hall and shared your vast acting experience with us, and thank you.
Jerry.
Francis says, we are all in this together right now, just the necessities. Rhonda Murphy, hi guys from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I love the sound of the ocean, very peaceful and relaxing. Merlin in Canada asks, is your partner in the arts too?
No, my partner is in real estate. So it's actually very nice because I have a lot of friends that both either husband and wife or partners are in the industry too. And as much as I love it, because I've been going on and on about how much I love the theater, and I love it, but I love not having to talk about it, and I try not making it the only thing in my life. So when I come home, I don't particularly like to talk about it, and I ask about his day and what he's doing. And he loves the theater and loves to come see me and stuff. But but it's nice. It's nice having a break from it too.
Christine in North Carolina also, I think, because so many of our favorite times of year, a lot of things are canceled this year.
Yeah.
Like June said, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is just going to be viewable just really on TV, and probably very scaled back and very limited as well. And
look at her smiling face there.
Yeah, huh? Do you, oh yeah, true, Jennifer. Pumpkin pie, apple dumplings, apple pie, hot chocolate, warm berry tea, berry tea. You know, I don't smoke, and I tie this with the fall, but I've had uncles who have smoked pipes, and I always wish that you could smoke a pipe and it would be fine, it would be healthy, and it's okay. So I love that feeling of being by the fireplace, like looking at some of my older relatives who would sit by the fireplace in a nice warm cardigan sweater with a cup of coffee, the glasses hanging down the nose with the newspaper, and the pipe, that whole sort of comforting sort of...
That is totally the reason, that fireplace right there is the reason we bought this house. That and the view. You can't see the view now, but it's lovely. But that fireplace, because it's the fireplace I always dreamed of, because I love sitting in front of a fireplace with my dog and the whole cliche and reading a book. You know, it's just like, there's nothing better than that.
Now that view, is that the back of a Stop and Shop or a Waldbaum's?
You can say whatever you want about me, Jim Masters, but don't you...
But do not touch my window view, because we paid a fortune for every square pane.
This place, though, I tell you, it was like Grey Gardens. We found this place. It's this kind of beautiful, it's a little later than mid-century, but it's kind of a mid-century place. And it has this amazing view that looks out on hills and valleys. But it was a wreck. It had like been completely... and it was owned by a hoarder, and she had been dead for like 5 years. So the place was still like piled with stuff and just falling apart. And we saw this and said, yes, because it has all the important things. It has 3.5 acres of woods. It has a beautiful view. It has this amazing fireplace. We can make it into something, which we did. But it was hard.
But it was a real undertaking. How do you guys...
39 steps to do it.
Yeah. Are you guys handy?
No. Me, no. Yuki, who's my partner, so handy.
So it works out.
I'm in charge of the lawn. So
the lawn and the gardening and...
Oh yeah. So and the firewood. So I do all that kind of stuff.
Who's the cook?
Yuki, not me. He's a great cook. He's fantastic.
You lucked out there, huh? The heavy lifting and the cooking.
It's like anytime I complain about anything, I honestly slap myself upside the head, because I have no business being anything but grateful for what I have.
It's a long way from the upper middle tip, that's for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. So do you like singing? Do you like to sing too?
I love to sing now. I love it. I do my lessons every day. I still go to my voice teacher, Michael Ricciardoni, who's a fantastic voice teacher. And I record my lessons, and then I do them every day. I'm never going to be a great singer, but I'm exactly what I wanted to do. Is like, I'll be a character actor that has a good voice that can sing a fun song and a funny song and do it in the show, and I love doing it. So I do love it.
Well, since your birthday is Tuesday and mine is Thursday, and we do this usually on the show when somebody says it's their birthday, and all the lovelies can join us in their respective locations around the world, why don't we jointly sing happy birthday to each other in unison?
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arnie. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Hey, no cover charge, folks. No cover charge. Now, see, you weren't expecting to do that tonight, right? And now it's released all those feel-good endorphins.
Where's
right?
my book?
Where's the book? That's it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really, really nice. Sometimes you just got to take the ring and run with it, right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Jim and Arnie. Thank you, Francis. His is Tuesday. Mine is Thursday next week. Really, really cool. Lots of great love coming in here. Mary Bishop. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Rhonda.
And we didn't have that planned, folks. We just did it on the spot. We just did it on the spot.
You people are the first people to wish me happy birthday. That's so nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's nice.
I
Thank
know.
you, Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm glad you brought it up. Absolutely.
Thank you, Francis.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Here comes more from Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn.
Yeah, really, really cool. So nice week coming up next week, and the weather is supposed to be nice. I know on my birthday it's going to be tonight. It's supposed to be like 39 degrees, 39. It's supposed to go. It's going to dip down pretty cold.
Next week, I've already checked. Like on my birthday, it's going to be like 67, 70.
We just sang. We just sang for her. She missed it.
Oh yeah.
We just sang happy birthday in unison. Yeah, right, exactly. Mine on Thursday is supposed to be around 79 degrees.
So what are you doing for your birthday?
I have this show, I have 3 radio shows, and then there's like a family gathering that I'm not supposed to know about.
But that's great to work on your birthday. There's nothing better than working.
Well, I'm going to do, actually, I have 3 radio shows to host for the professional work, and then I'm going to do the night show. And initially, I wasn't going to have a guest because I was going to, do a nice show with the viewers and, have the cake and everything here. But the voices of classic soul, who are the remaining members of the Temptations, Platters, Drifters, and Four Tops, want to come on that night, and they're going to perform, and it's going to be like a birthday show live.
Yeah,
which I'm
fantastic.
like, how can we not?
Yeah.
They watched the show, they liked the show, and they said, we want to come on the show. And then I said, well, let's look at the calendar. And I didn't have anybody purposely on the 24th because I wanted to just do a nice birthday show with the viewers. And I said, but how cool. Let me see if they would come on then. And they said, oh, it is your birthday? We definitely want to come on then. So really looking forward to that. It's gonna be really, really nice, very special. Thank you, Barbara and Merlin, and thank you very much from Arnie and Jim. Thank you very much, Sherry, as well. Oh, here we go. You're right. Autumn weather's on the way, but then it warms up next week. So
although 2 weeks early, I read in the paper today that fall foliage, at least in our area, it could be as much as 2 weeks earlier this year. So if people are waiting for mid-October to go up to see fall foliage, you should do it a little bit earlier because it's already starting to happen here. So
yeah, it's amazing. Everything's sort of accelerated this year in a very, very strange way. Absolutely. So what are some of the things, I like to ask this question of my guests. What are the things that really, inspire you to continue to do the work that you do, that you've done so brilliantly all these years? Some of those things that, still drive you forward, because none of what you do, I do, or any of our contemporaries do is easy. There's a lot of emotion involved. There's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears, like there is in any job, any career, any part of life. Well, what are some of the things that keep you going? The love of the art, the expression.
For me, it's really the love of a community working together. That's why I love plays in particular, because for a month you're in a rehearsal room, rehearsing with people. All you're trying to do is do the best version of this play or whatever that you can possibly do. That's really all anyone wants, and so everyone's working toward that common goal. And I love, as a person that grew up very shy, I love the interaction with other people that just want to do the best job they can to bring this thing to life for an audience. And one of the things I've learned from this shutdown, because I had toyed with the idea of possibly retiring at some point. It's like, oh God, that sounds so good, not have to worry about the business and every that. And these 6 months have given me a taste of retirement, and it's not necessarily pretty. I mean, it would be fine, and I would have ways, I have a full life, so I'd be fine, but I would sorely miss it. I just love the act of creating. I love the act of bringing to life a character. I love working with writers. Writers to me are amazing. So that's the thing that keeps me going. That's the thing I miss when I can't get to sleep at night. And I'm thinking about when it's never necessarily when am I going to be in front of an audience again. It's when am I going to be in a rehearsal room again.
Do you think you'll ever really retire, or will you always have even if you
Where there's going to be a point,
you'll do little stage things locally or something?
Well, it's just going to be it gets it does get harder. Your memory. It's just to do some of the things I've done. Memorization gets a little bit harder. I don't memorize as quickly as I did when I was younger. And
I was wondering why all night you've been calling me Tim.
Oh, it's not Tim? Oh, Jim. But it's true. It's like
no worries, Bill.
Huh? Why are you not mute? Why are you mute now?
What'd you call me?
What was I talking about? See, I can't remember what I was talking about.
Everybody has problems. Merle in Canada, it's 6 Celsius where she is.
What does that mean? I don't know. Celsius.
It means it's a little chilly in Canada. And Frances has just informed 33 degrees near her house in upstate New York. Yuck to cold already.
I have to see what temperature it is here. Let me see.
Now our weather from meteorologist Arnie Burton. That sounds like a weatherman's name, doesn't it? Arnie Burton?
It should be. I should be a weather. Oh, yeah. It's 52 right now. Not that bad.
That is funny. I wonder what June means by this.
What? She think we're drunk. She's saying that we're drunk or high. No.
Maybe that's a post. Yeah.
I haven't had my dinner yet.
June knows us both very well. She knows this is our personalities.
I actually don't. I'm not a drinker, so I don't smoke or drink. I've never been. Maybe because I've had alcoholics in my family, so I've never.
Which steers you away, right? Exactly.
I saw very early where that can lead. So
yes,
I'll occasionally, like on an opening night, have a.
She's not buying it. She's not buying it.
I don't know what to tell you.
You are turning beet red.
If I was drunk, I would totally cop to it, but I'm not.
That is funny. Anne says, happy birthday. May all your dreams and wishes come true. That's a very beautiful thing as well. Arnie, this really has been amazing. We've spent some really phenomenal time going over the career, but most importantly, really understanding why you do what you do. You've been very open and real and authentic, which we love here on the show, and lots of levity from all the viewers around the world, which is one of the reasons why I love doing this show and one of the foundations for why we created this entertainment lifestyle talk show. And so we can make people like June not believe a word we're saying and laugh. Do we look it? Maybe we look it. I don't know. I don't know.
This is the way I am normally. So
me too.
I have been drunk a few times in my life, and and I have to say I am I'm not a mean drunk. Some people are mean drunks. I'm a very happy drunk. So you're welcome. I probably should.
Oh, you mean like tonight?
These are all sarcastic, Jimmy.
This is something, I tell you. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Though Kathleen does say thank you for sharing with us, Arnie. We appreciate that. But it was really terrific, and you are absolutely, positively welcome back anytime. And Gilligan says the same. I bet your dream role would have been to play Gilligan, right?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh my God!
Actually,
actually, there's similarity. Look at him and look at you. Look at the eyes, the face.
You know who I really loved on that was Jim Backus.
Oh,
Jim Backus actually ad-libbed a lot of Thurston Howell III. And you can tell when he's riffing and ad-libbing. So I always took that from him. It's like, yeah, I'm going to throw in my own stuff here because Jim Backus did. And he was so freaking funny. So, yeah. Thanks, Barbara.
We just have a blast here on the show. But
I actually was nervous because I thought, I know you do like long interviews. I don't think I'm interesting enough for long interviews. I don't know if I have enough to say.
But it doesn't feel that. It feels like an hour.
Really good. You're really good at like keeping a conversation going. So this is what you should be doing, Jim. It's very good you did this.
Thank you very much. So I picked the right career in college, huh? Ever the communicator. Yeah. June says this is like a parody. Jennifer says she's a happy drunk when she drinks. LOL Slancha. Mary says, good night, Arnie. So glad to have met you. Stay safe. Have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you, Mary.
Let's do a revamp. I will write it.
Okay.
That sounds good to us. But
she
truly...
she needs to be on next time we do this. So she would be like the person that would say, like, call bullshit on us or anything. It's like,
oh, you mean so like she's like that third person in the middle, like just right there, and just she pops up. She goes, not quite.
Exactly.
Oh, she thinks a revamp of Gilligan.
Oh yes.
There you go. And Bob says yes.
Okay.
But this was really.
That's who you should have on your show. Oh God, I can't remember her name. Who played Mary Ann? She's the only. Well, her and Tina Louise are the only two left.
Yes.
Tina Louise doesn't do press about Gilligan's
No, she doesn't. No.
What's her name? Oh God, what's her name? Who played Mary Ann?
Yes. I
picture her. About it. You should have her on.
Because everybody else is gone. The skipper's gone, and Jim and Mrs. Howell is gone, and Gilligan, of course, and only
Don Wells. That's
and
who you have on.
And the professor's gone too. Yeah.
Don Wells is a friend on Facebook. You should friend her on Facebook, and then
Don Wells. That's right. Don Wells. That's right. You know who we did have on? We had on Kathy Garver, who was Sissy on Family Affair. Wow, look at your eyes light up.
Yeah.
She was great. We had Scott Schwartz, who was in The Toy and A Christmas Story. Yep. He was cool. And
what was Kathy Garver like?
She was wonderful. She's very much the whole Sissy. They're doing a reboot of it all. Yeah, she embraces the character. She's done a lot of other work beyond that too, but she's got a book out. She's just really totally embraces the character. They're doing a cool TV dinners, family affair. There's a whole new revamp. I think it's a web thing maybe, but she's very much.
Cool.
She's. What's great about it that is she not only like the Brady or some of the Brady kids did, like Greg, and they really embrace that they're Bradys, and that's what it's always been like. She really embraces the role of Sissy, and is very great to the fans, and answers any questions that they have. And yeah, she was very gracious. It was really cool to have her on, and she was really nice and pleasant. And I would say that two people that I've had an opportunity to interact with, similar to that in terms of they met the expectations that one would have, if not exceeded, for me were Carol Burnett and Florence Henderson.
Oh, I hear Florence Henderson is lovely. And I just have to say about Carol Burnett is, I was obsessed with a couple things growing up. One was old horror films, Universal horror films, and the other one was Carol Burnett. And I always wanted to be, it's like, that's all I wanted to be, was like work with like a group of people that you could tell loved each other and like got each other, and they just made each other laugh. And there's
ad lib like Tim Conway, just some of those ad libs.
And Harvey Korman is probably, of all the comedians, Harvey Korman to me is the most one. It's all the time in 39 Steps or any show I've done, I go, okay, what would Harvey Korman do? And then I do it. I just think he was brilliant and the unsung hero of that. They were all great, but I love Harvey Korman. I love Carol Burnett, and I love that she's such a nice woman. You're mute, Jim. You're mute.
I am? She's exactly what you expect. She's warm and friendly and funny. There's no airs about her. And Florence Henderson was the same way.
Yeah.
And yeah, Judy Collins like that too. Judy Collins, very warm and welcoming and friendly. And, when you come across folks like that, like you are as well, and hopefully I am. And yes, rerun on YouTube. Yes. Yeah, I have I've got all the Carol Burnett, DVDs, and
let me tell you, like
Twilight Zone DVD, all of it. Yeah.
Oh, I was a huge
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Love it.
Huge. But let me tell you just a little tip. There is a sketch, a Carol Burnett sketch on YouTube. Just put it. It's called The Pale. A lot of people don't know it, but it's her and Harvey Korman. He plays her therapist. It's one of the best sketches you're ever going to see. It's so funny. It's very subtle, but it is so funny. It's called The Pale. Just put it in Carol Burnett show, The Pale, and enjoy yourself for like 15 minutes. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. We will. Well, my friend, it was fantastic. And all your friends here, Gilligan and Silver and Jimmy and George and Jeannie, they all thank you for the time. We wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you, Jim, and to you.
We toast to you as well.
To you. I have a little bit of water. And
there you go.
Water, June. It's not vodka. It's water.
Yeah, look the way he downed that water.
Water.
I don't know what happens to mine. It starts full, but I always place it next to George. And I've told people on this show, you see that cigar?
Yeah.
I really think that he presses a button, it elongates, and it's like a straw. Because then I pick the glass up and there's nothing there. It's always, I think he's got something going on here. And he always asks to be next to the Genie Bottle. So it was really a pleasure having you on the show. 39 Steps.
39 Steps. Bring it back.
This is the one. This is the authentic from Mr. Doug Denhoff himself.
Doug wants to bring it back to Broadway, actually.
I think it would be fantastic.
He thinks it's the time America needs to laugh. We all need to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a cheap show, and I would do it in a heartbeat.
And speaking, of course, of Dick Van Dyke, with his father, Sam Denhoff, of course, one of the brilliant writers.
That will go through when I met, sorry, I know you want to sign off, but
No.
Denhoff, when I found out Doug, who his dad was, Sam Denhoff, and his dad also wrote one of my favorite episodes of Dick Van Dyke, which was when Rob and Laura and Buddy and Sally go and stay in this haunted hotel, and that was
Love that.
Yeah, because Doug was a little kid, and he said to his dad, "Why don't you put them in a haunted, like with ghosts and stuff?" And his dad wrote that. And so when I met Doug and I found that out, I go like, "Oh my God! Well, I could not be happier having you as a producer and as a friend." And that's her. His dad created and wrote that.
Yes. I've been watching a lot of nostalgic on Tubi and Antenna TV, and you see his name on a lot of different shows. Some of them are shows that came in and out, but still a lot of incredible work.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. And this really was a pleasure. I mean, you're amazing.
Yeah.
We did almost 3 hours,
I
and
know,
it
it's crazy.
didn't feel like it. I
I
mean,
know.
and everybody in the house is
My
so
partner is probably going to go, when can we have dinner?
I was saying, and the dog needs to be walked. A poor dog.
Poor Charlie. Well, that's Yuki's downstairs. I'm sure he's let her out a couple times. But now it's time to have some meatloaf and some mashed potatoes from Idaho.
Are you having meatloaf and mashed potatoes? Really? Oh my God, that's like real Americana. I love that stuff. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, for me, if God said, I'm going to place you on an island alone, and there's only one food you can eat forever, mashed potatoes for me.
Mashed potatoes, completely agree.
Yeah, the comfort nature of mashed potatoes. Uh-oh, here we go. We always end up on food on this show, and everybody loves the food topics. My friend, this was awesome. It was an honor. It was a pleasure to share your life, your experiences, your accomplishments with our wonderful audience here. You are welcome back anytime. Kathleen says good night. Jennifer says, Arnie, thank you for spending time with us.
You're also great. I love being able to see what you're saying. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very viewer-centric. Even in my professional work in TV and radio, I'm always like acknowledging the audience and always... Yeah, there was one time I was emceeing. I've emceed recently a lot at Carnegie Hall, and it was a really special Christmas concert with composer Tim Janis, who's a dear friend. And they have Neil Sedaka was there, flautist James Galway was there, and it's a beautiful concert. I'm not sure this year if it's holiday time usually, and I'm not sure if there's anything virtual happening. I haven't heard yet. Usually it's a big 200 voice children's choir, huge orchestra, and all of these known performers coming in and out singing, and really, really fantastic. So a number of times I've been the MC because I've known Tim for years and interviewed him on public television for his specials and the like. And there was one time where, talking about acknowledging the viewers or the audience, like I know you do in your work as well, as the MC, I'm in this beautiful tux and the whole bit and dressed to the nines. And you know how it is at Carnegie Hall, the big white doors that are there, and the crew, the fantastic union crew, opens the door, that performer comes out, those doors close, and then when they're done, the next performer, the doors open, the next performer goes, the doors close, then the doors open. I mean, it's very strategic, it's very formatic. So as the MC, I would be going in and out to intro all of the different artists based on all the different bios and everything that I wrote, and the introduction and the close that I wrote for the special concert. And it's a concert, it's a really beautiful holiday concert where the proceeds, he's done it for 12 years, and the proceeds go to Kate Winslet, actress Kate Winslet's charity, which is the Golden Hat Foundation, Autism Research. So it's really is a beautiful cause and everything. So we're about 50% into the concert. And I was backstage waiting to go on, chatting with some of the performers and friends. And I kept saying to myself, oh, I'm dying to say this line to the New York audience at Carnegie Hall. I'm dying to come out as the MC and say this. And I'm like rehearsing it, and I'm saying, okay, now should I not? She loves me not. Should I not? Should I go out there on stage at Carnegie Hall and say this line, or should I not say it? So what the heck, the doors open, I'm getting ready. It's about 50% into the concert. So I gauged that. I said, okay, it's holidays. It's a New York audience. They tend to be responsive. And sometimes they even encourage you, which is kind of cool. People are feeling good. They've heard 50% of this beautiful concert. They're feeling good. But I am the master of ceremonies, and I'm coming out in the tux, and I'm doing my intros and things of that nature. Will they respond to this? So the doors open. Nobody knows I'm going to say this. I walk out. I walk right up to the edge of the stage and the podium. The orchestra is sitting there, like poised, ready to go. The choir is like waiting. The next act is poised and ready to come out. But before I introed them, I said to this beautiful, well-dressed Carnegie Hall audience, in New York at holiday time. I looked around at the audience, smiling in the tux, looked up, greeted everybody in the balcony, because sometimes we forget to look at the folks in the balcony. And I just said, now, aren't you glad you decided not to go bowling tonight? And out of the blue, left field at Carnegie Hall, and it erupted. Everybody was like, oh my God. Da, 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 da. So when I do introduce the next artist, the doors open, I go in the back again, and the union guys are usually quiet and doing their thing. They were jumping out of the chair, high-fiving. They were like, oh my God, we've never heard that before. Are you coming back next year?
Oh.
So it's just one of those, acknowledge the audience and sort of take them out of the routine of it a little bit and then bring them back into the routine.
Take a chance. There's nothing like taking a chance like that. I've done that too on stage. Where, should I try this tonight? I don't know. It's risky. And then you do it. I've done it sometimes where it hasn't worked, but when it does, it's fantastic.
And you got to gauge it, a New York audience, and they're going to be very responsive. Christine says, good night, Arnie. It was a pleasure to learn more of your life and cool to know I saw you in some New York City shows. You've already had an incredible career, but we haven't seen the last of you. Once things are up in our country, you and Jim kept the evening very entertaining. Thanks Lovity. And all saying they love it, and thumbs up from Mary.
Yay.
Barbara Hartnett. Thanks, Jim and Arnie, for the wonderful evening. Longing for live theater too, Arnie. Hang in there. Of course.
Thank you.
Good stuff, my friend. You are welcome back anytime. I hope that this met your expectations and that you had as much fun with me and the gang as I have with you.
Yeah, absolutely, I did. Thank you so much.
It was
almost like being back. It was like a little taste of being back in the theater with connection with your audience and you. So it was really good for me. Thank you.
My pleasure, and we look forward to welcoming you back soon. Good night from Gilligan and everybody here.
Good night, everybody.
You take care. Enjoy the meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Oh, you know I will.
With the water. Take care, Arnie. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, have a good night. Wasn't that cool? Fantastic. Good to see you, Renee, and hugs, Arnie. Thanks to everybody and all these great comments. We appreciate it. I want to show you who's on tomorrow night live from Argentina. Really, really excited. We've got a fantastic performer. He is a jazz singer. He's a crooner. This is Ramiro Tejada. He's going to be our special guest tomorrow live from Argentina, where he lives. He's got all kinds of music in store, all kinds of great stories in store. He's exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live. That is tomorrow night, Saturday. It's going to be a phenomenal night tomorrow with our very special guest. He's an incredible crooner, jazz. He's almost like Argentina's Michael Bublé in a way. And he and I have been chatted. He's all excited. He's been blasting out promos all over South America and everywhere else, and in America, telling everybody about his appearance on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we've got a very special show. It's Foodie Festival Host Chat. This is going to be really, really cool. This is on Sunday. Going to be talking about lots of great food. This shot you're looking at was actually on one of my television shoots with the lifestyle travel TV series that I host on some CBS and CW affiliates across the country. And we were actually on location at a beautiful restaurant Vineyard on the Connecticut coast there. And we were filming for the that television show that I do, one of the hats I wear. So there was some beautiful wine and great food that the chefs had prepared and wine tastings. So that's what that shot is. So, but on Sunday, we've got a very special time that we're on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So we're going to be on earlier on Sunday. So don't look for us at 7 in the evening on Sunday. We're going to be on it at a special time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific this Sunday with a fun foodie festival host chat. And a lot of people have been sending me photos of their favorite foods and foods that they've been cooking during the week and recipes as well. Somebody is actually mailing me a cookbook that they wrote and all kinds of cool things. And thanks to all of you lovities who've been sending me the food pictures and the recipes. There's still time to do that. Tomorrow, we want to get it by, I said midnight originally, but I think it'd be good if we get it by about 8 o'clock tomorrow night, because it's going to take us time to ingest all the photos and recipes and everything into our system, so we can actually show them on Sunday's show. So if you have any food pictures, things you've created and recipes, and you want to share them with us on our special Foodie Festival host chat episode, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific this Sunday, feel free to email those to our show's email address, which is jimmasterstv@gmail.com. That is jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Send that to us by 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So got about a little less than 24 hours to get those to us. We really appreciate that. So the cutoff time would be 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is Saturday night. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. So we can get all those photos in. And you guys have sent some really cool things. I'm getting hungry looking at some of those desserts and pasta dishes and so much more. That's really cool. We're going to share all of that together with our Foodie Festival host chat episode this Sunday. Something special we wanted to do here on the show with our viewers from around the world. So send those photos in to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. That's jimmasterstv@gmail.com by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, Saturday night, Eastern. And we're going to have an awesome show on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then on Monday, an amazing singer, songwriter, and musician. This is Bastian Steven. He is going to be live from the Netherlands in Europe. That's right. He's going to be actually in Holland, where he's from. And he's going to be live on Monday night. It's going to be an amazing show. He specializes in soul and pop, and it's going to be really, really cool. He's all excited. We were chatting today. He's really stoked, and we appreciate it because his time is going to be 1 a.m. for him, which is 7 p.m. here and 4 p.m. Pacific in the States. So we really appreciate Bastian Steven there in Europe, in the Netherlands, for joining us on Monday night for some great music and conversation live from the Netherlands. It's going to be cool. Tuesday night, we've got an amazing guest, Emmy-winning TV host, veteran news anchor and correspondent. She's worked for the major networks, also radio shows, and correspondent Inside Edition, of course, as well, an author, and so much more. And she has some exciting announcements, some major, incredible projects that she's working on. This is Rita Cosby. I'm sure you've seen her on network news and heard her on radio, maybe read many of her phenomenal books. She's also very big with supporting the veterans and so much more. She's a dear friend, and she's coming on exclusively on Tuesday, the 22nd of September. Rita Cosby, Emmy-winning Rita Cosby. And again, Thursday and Tuesday is Arnie's birthday, so it was kind of cool. He and I sang happy birthday to each other. That was a lot of fun. We enjoyed that. That was sort of on the spot, unrehearsed, ad hoc. On Thursday, September 24th, which happens to be your host's birthday, this is really cool. The Voices of Classic Soul are going to be here. Members of the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Drifters, and the Platters. They love our show. They asked if they can come on the show, and it turns out they want to come on the birthday, which is next Thursday. They're going to perform live. We're going to go over their illustrious career as being part of the Temptations, Platters, Four Tops, and the Drifters. They are the Voices of Classic Soul, legends, music legends in Motown, soul, and so much more. Next Thursday, they're going to be here on the Jim Masters Show live. We thank our very special guest, Arnie Burton, for joining us. Every show is a real treat, isn't it? You never know what's going to happen. We always have a lot of light, levity, fun. We get into deep conversations. We just have a ball and we let it roll, and you get a chance to learn about people that maybe you knew little things, little nuggets about. But we sort of bring it out further here on our show, which I love to do as a TV and radio host. And you learn things about me, about the guests. We learn things about you guys watching, our lovities all around the world. And it's a very cool relationship we all have, isn't it? Continue to spread the word about the show. Continue to tell everybody about the show. Share the links. Tag everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube channel where all 19 weeks of our episodes are there. If you missed anything, you want to watch it again because you enjoyed it, you want to share it, you can share the YouTube links with folks. And of course, we broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch. That's right, we had some folks watching on Twitch tonight as well. And pretty cool. But the YouTube channel is the main home base for all of the archived episodes. So some really amazing shows we've had, and we are just getting started. 19 weeks, but we are just getting started. And a lot of people have asked me, you know, because I'm very busy with my professional work, and the last 2-3 weeks things have really gotten even busier with some of my work in television and radio. During the daytime, I'm really busy doing the professional work in television and radio. So they said, are you going to continue doing the Jim Masters show live here, you know, once hopefully things start to return to normal or better and things start opening up and all that other? Because I'm always busy with my professional work, because a lot of it I can do out of the house. But there's other things, TV shoots and other things that are starting to get busier. Will you keep doing this? We hope you keep doing this and you don't stop at any point. Well, we're going to keep doing it. As long as you guys are here, this is something people have asked me professionally to do for a long time. And viewers and listeners who have followed my work have asked me to do. And I'm so happy that I, you know, had the gumption to do it and put it all together and build all this and tweak it and fine tune it and bring in these cast of characters and welcome all of you every single night. It really is amazing. We do these extended shows like this. Most people do shows for a half hour, pop up here and there, but to do, you know, shows that are going an hour and a half, 2, almost 3 hours, and then some sometimes. Every single guest also says it doesn't feel like the amount of time we've spent. But we get into a good conversation, and there's all the photos and videos to show, and we don't really want to rush it, you know. Everybody's having a good time, and you guys are too. So as long as you guys continue to be out there and sharing the levity, and more people discover our show, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep showing up here and turning on the lights and building these episodes for you, and with guests and food and so much more. We have a lot of cool people that are coming on too that I can't quite announce yet. I'm dying to, and there's also some really exciting things that are going to be happening with our show that I can't say yet, but really cool stuff, and happy to bring all of you along. And I appreciate all the love and the support and all the Facebook messages and the private messages and the texts and PMs and on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere, YouTube, at Jim Masters TV. We love it, and we'll again keep the series going for as long as you guys want us to do it. Now, if I'm on location on a TV shoot, or if we're visiting, you know, relatives or something, I may do episodes where the show itself is actually, you know, I've taken you on location by way of video, and sometimes I've gone on location live, streaming live on location. But I might actually do some episodes where I'm actually, you know, on location on a TV shoot, or on location, you know, where we're with family and relatives and things of that nature. So we're looking forward to some of that cool action here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Couple of comments coming in, and then we're going to wrap up while Arnie enjoys his meatloaf and mashed potatoes. We have some lemon lime popsicles in the freezer that we're going to enjoy that came from Trader Joe's, and they're good. These organic lemon lime popsicles. Food. We'll reserve the food for Sunday. Get those food photos in, and have recipes you want to share by 8 o'clock tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Now, if you're watching this show like months from now, the one we're doing right now, this will all have been passed if you're watching this in the archives. So you'll have to watch the foodie show in the archives. Hey, Jim, You got me favorite color orange. Your shirt on. Cool. Thank you. You know, if you saw the start of the show, I had a sport coat on too. But I saw Arnie was so casual in that black shirt. I said, you know what? Let's take that off. We don't need it on. We got the hat on, which everybody loves. And thank you, Jennifer. Hope you have a good night. Night, Jim's sweet dreams, lovely. You too, Rhonda Murphy. Great Irish name there. Kathleen, you as well. And I'm going to have to go to the post office. They told me that there's a box there of some sort. And let me know, Kathleen, if you can, you have my information, contact me and let me know the box that's sitting in the post office. Should I open the box right away or should I wait until the birthday? You let me know, because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to rip this box open if it's something that you want me to wait until the birthday and then maybe I reveal whatever it is on the birthday, or if it's just a box that has something else in it that's not connected to the birthday. You just let me know. You just shoot me a note or message or something. I'll follow your lead, Kathleen, and I appreciate your sending that, whatever that is. I really appreciate that. But let me know if I should open it soon or hold on to the box and wait till next Thursday, the birthday. Whatever you want, I will do it, my friend. Good night, Jim. Good night, lovelies. Pleasant dreams, or good morning, depending on where you are. That's right. Eileen Barker from Australia was in with saying it was a ripper of a show. I can open it right away. Okay, I will open it. We will head to the post office this weekend, and we will open it right away. And then is it something that it's okay to show on the show? Show on the show. Show on the show. Is it okay to share it on the show? Is it okay to display it on the show? Or show it on the show? You tell me. Should we show it on the shoe? Ed Sullivan. I will open it right away. Like a kid on Christmas. I was always the kid who would go into my sister's room and try to wake her up. So we would sneak out into the living room and start tear the corner of the packages just a little bit, just tear, and then look at the stockings. It's funny, my mother would always say we couldn't open the gifts yet and obviously touch the stuff, but if there were Christmas cookies in the stockings, we could eat those. And we did. My mother has always made, like, still does. Christmas is still big. 5 different kinds of Christmas cookies. Jim, you would love what Arnie's eating, the mashed potatoes and the meatloaf. I love comfort food. I make a really good, maybe I should make that for Sunday for our show. I make really good meatloaf. That is a claim to fame, everybody. The friends and family will tell you. I come from a family of people who also love to cook. The grandmothers, my mother, sisters, everybody, aunts, uncles, everybody has always loved to cook. And bake too. They love to bake as well. So maybe, I know it's early. We'll have to do that on Saturday night maybe, or Sunday morning. Maybe we'll do that. Make a meatloaf. We'll have to see. We'll surprise you. We do have some things already set up that we'll have for Sunday's Foodie Festival show. Comfort foods. Oh, I can show whatever that box is when I open the box. I can show it on the show. Okay, cool. I will do that, Kathleen. I appreciate that. I will definitely do that. You love orange. I know you do. I know you love orange. Good night, June. Good to see you. XOXOXOXO. Good to see you. Always love having you here, watching on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Tell all your friends to check out our YouTube channel, June, and to subscribe to that channel. It's an awesome place with lots of levity. Sherry says, thank you, Jim, for another brilliant show. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you very much, Sherry. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching. I could dig up a few more recipes. Oh, well, I know you've been really good. You've been working hard. I said the Oscom family is very blessed that you're there, because some of those photos you sent me for the Foodie Festival Host Chat Sunday show, we're hungry. Everybody, the crew and I, we're hungry looking at those photos. Oh boy, I wish the photos were the real thing. Well, one of these days. If I have a shoot that takes me to Iowa or near Iowa, we'll stop by and have dinner with the Oskams, Bernie and Renee, and that'll be great. Good night, Jim, and all the lovelies. You as well, Jim. Underflower Power, Jen is Zen. I sent my food picture tonight. Great. Apology for text. I choose large format. LOL. But you got my picture in question. The bigger the font, the better. Good show, Jim. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Good night, all. You too. And looking forward to Sunday. Me too. Looking forward to the food show. Yes, we have a lot of food lovers here. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Arnie, I'm coming over for dinner. Yes, he was. He's normally in New York, but tonight he was at their country house in New Jersey. In New Jersey. What a night! I know, every night. It's amazing. It tops the night before, tops the night, which is really hard to do. They're all fantastic. I mean, this has been an awesome week. I don't know what the energy or something about this week. I know there's a lot of people that are down. I know there's a lot of sadness and negativity, and maybe I'm working double time to try to push that away somehow for everybody. But in terms of the guests, I mean, the guests have really enjoyed opening up and enjoying this experience. And I think some of them who've never seen the show or never been on the show, or maybe we haven't met before, they're really surprised and they really enjoy what happens here, and they all want to come back, which is really, really cool. And I got an amazing note from Lacey. We wrote each other today, Lacey from last night, Lacey Carpenter. She absolutely loved it, and she's ready to come back already, which I think is great. By Renee in Iowa in the breadbasket. Those of us who are still on, stay comfortable and stay well. And for all, like Ralph Lampkin had said, all who are celebrating Rosh Hashanah this weekend, which is the new year for the Jewish religion, we send you blessings and peace for your Rosh Hashanah holiday. Love from all of us here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Thanks, Jim, from New Jersey. Marianne Kelly, good to see you as well, Marianne. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you as well. And Francis. Thank you, Jim, for tonight's show. Also, good night. Yeah, it really was a terrific, terrific show. A lot of fun. Arnie Burton, again, all those great shows and things that you saw him in over the years. Murphy Brown. And that, I mean, this is just some of what we touched upon tonight. We touched upon so much. He was in Murphy Brown and Life on Mars and Hope and Faith and Frasier and, you know, Game 6 and Law and Order, and I mean, you name it. He's been on it as a character actor, which I think is really, really cool. Great stories about each of the productions that he's been involved in as well. Elementary on CBS and Lives of Pippa Lee, White Collar, Sister, 6 Degrees on ABC, Blacklist on NBC. He's had roles in all of these great productions. And Jessica Jones, Blue Bloods on CBS, of course on Broadway and Amadeus, The 39 Steps. These are just a few of the things he's been a part of. A Free Man of Color, Tailspin, Timon of Athens. He was talking about that. That was very recent, and that had to come to an end because of everything in 2020. Lewiston, Clarkston, and of course the Royal Family of Broadway, Cole Porter's The New Yorkers, and on and on and on. Great guest, and we love going over the career. Again, Arnie Burton, our guest. Tomorrow night, one more time, live and direct from Argentina. I would say he's Argentina's Michael Bublé in a way. Ramiro Tejada, live from Argentina tomorrow night here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We're going to wrap up. Got to get that Trader Joe's lemon lime ice pop that's waiting for me. Yes, I'd love to be a guest again. It's a great experience. Thank you. We loved having you on. You are one of our viewers of the week. Our viewer of the week this week continues to be Christine Clifton from North Carolina. We're still celebrating Christine Clifton as well. Small, medium, large, it's all how you use the format text. Our Irish humor, that's right. It's not the size of the font, it's the quality of the font. You started it, LOL, I'm mixing my Irish and Italian humor now, LOL, all due respect. You are a hoot. Sending you good energy, Jim, and extra love for all your efforts in putting this together every night. Love, Francis. Thank you, Francis. I really appreciate that. That's very beautiful of you to say that. And Christine, you and Arnie were great together tonight. There has been lots of laughter during the episodes this week. There has been. Even the one with Daniel Kaner live from London. Oh boy, did we have a hoot with him too. And Donna Vivino when her 4-year-old kid came in the room when she was chatting with me. And Lacey Carpenter last night. And tonight, Arnie, veteran award-winning film, television, and theater actor Arnie Burton tonight. Cool stuff, cool stuff. All right. We will see you guys again. Don't forget to relax, to breathe, take care, love one another. We even heard from Willie in the Netherlands earlier. She popped in. She went to bed, which is good because it's late for her. She needs her sleep. So she watches on YouTube all the archives. She wrote to me today or yesterday, and I wrote back to her. So she's doing well. And she popped in. She likes really being a part of the live show, but it's 2 a.m. for her in Holland. So she chimes in the beginning, and then she goes to bed, and then she watches on YouTube, and then she comments on YouTube. So she is following along and loves it. Relax, breathe, take care of one another, meditate, smile, put a smile on your face, do whatever you can to, love one another and take care of yourself. It was really cool that Arnie loved all of our characters and he really loved Gilligan. That is awesome, isn't it? All right, so Jennifer says, love you, Jim. We love you back. Jen is Zen. Christine says, viewer of the week is saying night to Jim, cast of characters, crew, and lovedies. Our viewer of the week. And Renee, everyone, have a good night and day wherever you are around the world. All right, gang, we love you all. You take care. You be well. Great shows this weekend with Ramiro Tejada from Argentina. Foodie Festival, host chat, special time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. We're doing an earlier show Sunday. And again, the cutoff, 8 p.m. tomorrow night, Eastern, for all the food photos you want to send and the recipes and things of that nature. If you don't have any food photos, you want to show photos of your garden or your grandkids, we'll take those too, and we'll show all of them on Sunday during our 1 o'clock afternoon show, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right, we're going to sign off. Jen is Zen. Thanks for a great night. Our pleasure, our pleasure. You guys get some rest, or if you're just starting your day, have a terrific day in Australia and New Zealand and elsewhere. Love you all. Keep sharing the love. Keep telling everybody about the show. Keep sharing the links. And we'll see you on, you can find me on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, Facebook Jim Masters TV, Twitter Jim Masters TV, Periscope Jim Masters TV, Twitch Jim Masters TV, and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. And in about 2 minutes, you'll find my head inside the freezer getting that Trader Joe's lemon lime ice pop. Good night, all. Always a pleasure. You guys are the best. And it's nice to see all of the faithful lovedies and all the new folks who find us every day on the Jim Masters Show live. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.